All right, we're back. I think we're good. What is up? There we go. We actually have a chat. I don't know. I had to basically delete the current version of the stream bot and basically reinstall the one from before we left on holiday. Apparently, the stream bot felt abandoned and was really outrageously annoyed about that. By the way, let's bring that down there. Some confidentiality here, okay? Gotta be close to the groin cap. But we are back. What is up, one and all? Let me just ping out as well. We back. There we go. Easy. Keep it very simple. But yes, it was a refreshing time, man. It was nice to get away just with the family. We switched off. We like 90% switched off. I think that like we've done a good job of minimizing thinking, looking, anything influencer, content creator, esports at all. Wasn't 100%, but I feel like 100% was always going to be difficult anyway. So yeah, I'm pretty proud of that. It was needed as well. Like you kind of need that reset. In some ways, it's kind of weird that I was like, I just kind of wanted to get back at it. Like there were times where everything was just kind of, you know, quiet, and I would just be like, I kind of want to be doing stuff. So I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. Maybe that's kind of dangerous, because maybe that just means I truly can't switch off, which is, for my mental health, one of these days going to end up being real bad. But like we always say, guys, that's future KP's problem. It's not current KP's. No, we don't care about that. But yeah, it was fun. I got so many photos of the kids, dude. They're so goddamn photogenic. It's brilliant. But Freya, she's learned to actually like swim with her armbands now. She wouldn't do that before we went. That's a really big improvement. Obviously, Ezra's birthday was the final day we were there. I had him a cake and everything. Even had him eating his cake on his own. So yeah, it was relaxing. It was enjoyable. Didn't really do everything I wanted to do. I kind of wanted to take them on like boat rides and everything, you know, like actually visit the other islands. But we didn't really get a chance to do that. We went with some of Emma's family, and they're not as active. They didn't really want to go anywhere. So I think like towards the end, one of them was like, we can do mini golf. I was like, really? So we could either go on like, we could either do a mini golf, or we could go on like a boat ride and visit several different islands and maybe see the turtles and everything else for the kids. And it's about the same price. Can you do both of those things at home or only one of them? So yeah, that was a little bit vexing. But other than that, yeah, it was really nice. Near the end of the time, you always get the itch to get back to work because you like your job. Sort of, and it's like I'm my own boss. You have to keep that in mind, Bikes, right? Like I do all the different mumbo jumbo things, right? So like I am an influencer manager. Oh, I just realized we never switched screen for the TikTok, so they've just been staring at a getting ready screen. Oh, let's do that now. So yeah, like we have all these different jobs I do, right? So I manage a bunch of influencers. I have to like get my own esports events. I have to source my own sponsors for these type of content. I have to be live. So it's like there is also that urgency to get back because like I don't know if I'd ever take 2 weeks off. Like I thought about, you know, if I was to make a lifestyle channel and we would do traveling vlogs, then I'd probably take 2 weeks because like you're still working in a way, but it's like a different kind of work, you know what I mean? But like I don't think we're there yet. I'd love to be there that point in life where like, you know, we could just go off and do things and people would be like, holy crap, I want to watch this. I mean, maybe we'll get there. But for now, you guys are all AOE-aholics. I noticed the Reddit thread where it's like, where is the KPMM? It's been running in the background. Actually, you guys can have a look at the bracket there. So we have Gully Deckle Recon, Voldemar Scatterbrain, Ansan Sword Off, then BL Yona / MSN Lash. So we're going to cover a few series today. Possibility for a semi-finals, but we'll see how it rolls. Because, I mean, for once, I actually kind of wanted the semi-finals to be on the Wednesday. Because A, we're streaming today, and like the other reason is I'm going to this thing in London to host for the event on late Thursday, and it's early Friday. So I kind of want to have KPMM this week wrapped up in a nice bow tie by like probably 7-ish my time, if I can. Maybe, hopefully, we'll see. Because then I've got to travel into London. I'm staying with a friend, and I've got to wake up really early, and it's like a 45-minute travel from there to the venue in the morning for that event. So yeah, that does mean I won't be streaming this Friday. But after that, it should be back to full swing, full motion. And we've got loads of cool things going on at the moment, guys. So in about a week and a half, I've got a really cool partnership I'm really excited for that we're going to be doing. But I can't tell you guys about that yet. But one partnership I can tell you about is that, yeah, get that out of there. No, they didn't pay for any space. That's just a container I got. This thing right here, guys, you remember PC Specialist? Our boys are back. That's right. They love you so much. It's my absolute pleasure to say that PC Specialist has renewed with us through to the end of the year. That's right. Not just a one-month sponsor, not a one and done. No, they're going to be here with us all the way through December to see in 2026. So really big shout out to PC Specialists. Like, this is honestly the dream when you're a content creator, like finding reliable brands you like working with and then getting them to come back for the long haul, not just for a week or two, right? So really big shout out to PC Specialists. I love working with them, man. Like, this laptop has been an absolute blessing. I think you guys have noticed it in the quality of the broadcast. I think you guys have noticed it just on screen for good reason. I'm happy. I've been flaunting it there. I didn't even go back off the 2-cam setup. I actually like this setup so much. I think it was kind of cooler. So really big shout out to them. This laptop has been a godsend for me the whole time. And I'm looking forward to seeing what we can do with them as we move towards the end of 2025 and beyond. So shout out to PC Specialists again. Hopefully you guys have been taking advantage. Remember, if you use my code, you will get yourself a nice little discount, a humble £40 off. It doesn't sound like a lot when you make a big purchase, but you have to remember that with these type of things, they don't actually have much in the way of profit on PC builds. Like, a lot of the parts are really expensive in the construct anyway, so like £40 off is actually pretty decent. But if you use code Pigeon40, I think it was, we've gone before, or put !PCS, it will take you over there as well. Be sure to check them out if you're ever thinking about a PC, a laptop, or whatever else. But by the way, guys, did you guys notice this while I'm gone? If you're now subscribed to the channel, you can rewind. Seriously, dude, they added rewind. I'm a bit shocked. I mean, I hope they also started sharing the revenue on people watching not live when they get ads, because that's something they don't do. But legit, if you are subscribed to the channel, you're now able to go back and forth. Like, look, I can... Yeah, I'll quickly show it. See, I'll show my ugly mug here. So, you guys see that? There's now a rewind feature. You can go all the way back. That's crazy. It only took them a cajillion years, but they finally done it. Holy crap. Please promise to never let us go cold turkey on KPMM again. I don't know if I can promise that. But like, if we keep growing, maybe I'll do like a live stream when I'm out there, you know? Maybe we'll find a climbing gym. We'll do a live stream of that. But holy crap. Yeah, dude, Twitch officially better than AOE4 replay viewer. And YouTube has been for how long better? they've had it the whole this whole time. But by the way, guys, today we are going to be opening up with Anatan versus Sort of. I noticed that one got played the quarterfinals. I thought it'd be a nice one to kick off with on our return. But today, my goal is to get at least 3 quarterfinals done. We should have Voldemar versus Scatterbrain coming up live a little bit later, actually. So I'm pretty excited for that one. See if the kiddos still got it. Got it good. Wait, did we never post live again on TikTok? I don't think we did. Oh, god damn it. I thought we did. We didn't. One sec. The TikTok server's just being drunk. It's being a bit of a bellend. What's up, Fat Bob? How's it going, buddy? We use the new Obs mod for by Cow. I don't know about this mod. So I have to lay the deets on me. Is it a ball ache to set up? Probably won't be done today, that's for sure. But maybe on other days. I'll have to look in on it. I hadn't really had a chance to like you know, when I say I switched off, I mean I really like switched off a lot. Like, we were not looking at like cow posts. We weren't even watching. We weren't EGC games. Nothing. I tried to minimize it. I think most of my YouTube time was spent watching like clips from Blacklist and like Boston Legal and Rome and stuff like that. Yeah, like I true switch off basically. Yeah, like I true switch off basically. Yeah, like I true switch off. Alright. Dude, TikTok always does this. It's so obnoxious. Like, I must be unmuted when I start. Okay. I see how it is. With that guy. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, if Carl's charging, I'm going to be a cheapskate. And what is up, by the way? Sorry, I didn't get around to that. Mill, thank you very much for the sub, mate. Welcome back to Swarm. Pleasure to see those subs coming through. It means that you have that rewind function. It's smart. So this week, I believe our default map we went with was Carmel while I was gone. I kind of just like, I done an Eid gaff and I went, Tommy, do whatever. And he chose Carmel, which means I'm going to have to fire him because who chooses Carmel? What a trash map. pay the millions of royalty fees Cal deserves for it? Nah, dude, I ain't paying him. I ain't paying him squat. Oh, I just realized, dude, you guys have been on that screen the whole time. Oh my god, my brain is still not there, man. It's still not there. My brain is playing a bit of catch up, so bear with me, guys. But yeah, we've got the draft ready. Anahan versus Sword Off. Carmel game 1. Is that an Order of the Dragon pick or a Malian pick? I know he's got French, actually. He's got, yeah, French makes a lot of sense for Carmel. With that map draft, I don't think there's really anywhere else you want to place them. So I'll probably be seeing French. Knowing that, sort of, I don't mind Biz into French in the right map. I just don't know if Carmel is the map for it. He probably just goes more generic, like HRE or Roos just make a lot of sense on Carmel. Is that my boy Johan in there? What up? Yo, Johan, when you sign up for these, we're gonna get that EU representation in here, as in EU4. Okay, Order of the Dragon versus Roos for game 1. That's a little bit different than what I was expecting, actually. Interesting. Friday will be a new KPM. It will indeed. I will not be live on Friday because I will be in London hosting an event called the Esports Leaders. So it's an event that a lot of big people in esports go to pat each other on the back and giggle and get drunk. And I'll be emceeing for that. So I won't be streaming Friday, but once we get to Monday, it will be business as usual. So like I've got nothing else plotted currently that's going to take me away from streaming in October. So we should just be non-stop. Really, I do need to get some more things to take me away from just streaming though. I need to make more money. I need to line up more esports gigs, to be honest with you. It's been a little bit light this year. There was a bunch of things that fell through. I had 1 or 2 gigs that we were going to be doing at the end of the year that just aren't happening now, unfortunately. So yeah, got to fill the gaps there. But once again, big shout out to people like PC Specialist that actually helps with that and make sure that we're not royally screwed. I did forget one thing, didn't I? Give me a second. Let me check if it's working. Yes. Okay, everything is live. So we should be good to go. I don't have any screen cap though. Why don't... Oh, that's right. We were on Doomspire before we left. One sec, let me fix that. Dude, that would have been awkward. Just like casting over a black screen the whole time. I would have done it. I would have done it good. I would have made that black screen in a thing. All right, last little bit of catch up in the chat, and then we hop in. Cal's Player Spotlight that was posted on Reddit is great. I learned a lot about nerdy Scandinavian games. Huh, interesting. Is that with Meowasis, right? I think I glanced that slightly on the Reddit. But let's get ready to go, guys. So, back and refreshed, I thought what better way to kick off my week than Anatan versus Swordov in a best of 5. Welcome back to the channel, folks. We're going straight into Carmel, and it's going to be Roos versus Order of the Dragon for game number 1. An interesting one, actually. The Order of the Dragon pick, something that we've seen a little bit from Anna in the past, but most of the time, we typically see it out of the Canadian pros. They're kind of our number 1 go-to guys for it, right? Usually a lot of 2TC play. I'm not sure if Anatan's going to be leaning the same way, but if he doesn't, this is already a great spawn. Are you kidding me? That tree line? Bro. And then, yeah, the flip side, sort of just getting the perfect tree line for a double tree line high trade house. It's not as good as this, though. Like, legitimately, you prefer this. Just a straight line is more reliable. But overall, both of them getting sliced of the pie. Very useful for open hunting cabin play. I just realized I actually haven't even talked remotely about Age of Empires in over a week. It's kind of refreshing to just come back like this, you know? Oh, wow. This is also kind of a more meaty spawn. You don't often get these big cliffs lines on Carmel, right? Usually it's always tiny like this. The tree lines are quite intriguing as well, just creating a lot of natural defenses in the areas. Like, in particular, Anatang has a bit of a busted spawn because he doesn't need to pro scout here. He just needs to back wall. You back wall, you pull the boar in, you've got boar, plus you've got how much deer in the corner? Oh my god. Never put Bambi in the corner. 13 deer back here. And remember, he can wall down here. So yeah, I think like Anno is going to be happy when he sees the backside of his base. He's going to be smiling. Meanwhile, for sort of, you're just going to pro scout anyway, right? I'd be very surprised if he didn't. Like, theoretically, you could hunt and cabin out. You could do things like, you could pull the ball back to about here, and then hunt and cabin here, and then wall past it, just in case. That would keep you nice and safe, especially with the fortified walls that the Rus get. So there's definitely some possible plays here if you don't want to pro scouts. But for Rus, you know, it's never changed, right? It's always remained way too good for them. Well, other civs started to venture into new areas. Bar a few players such as B, most people, when they pick Rus, they're just thinking pro scouts, and you're not going to stop me, you know? A little bit addicted to it. Okay, so mine work coming in from Anno. I mean, if this is HRE, it wouldn't be a surprise either. With Order of the Dragon, it does suggest that he's maybe thinking about Men-at-Arms opening, but we already have one villager out into stone, and that is a commitment. Okay, so we are going to be getting 2 TC Order of the Dragon. It's a smart alternative to pro scouting here, especially with this type of spawn. So what we'll probably see here is a TC drop here, just short wall this, and then you can back wall here if necessary, and you'll just hunky-dory. Right? Now, the issue that I see right now is that sort of he needs to scout this ASAP. Because if the Golden Gate completes, he'll start committing the tickets into buying for the Pro Scouts play. At which point, it's way too late to pivot. I don't know if you really want to be Pro Scouting if your opponent is 2TCing like this. And he should be coming around in a second, so all should be revealed. Anno still doesn't know how good his back corner is, by the way. He's about to discover that shortly. And are you kidding me? No. He's sort of out of sheep. No, he's not. Guys, he's got 10 sheep back here. He just didn't think to scout the rest of the primary. So, sort of does not know that it's 2TC at all. And Anatan just got the good news. Now, sort of, he is coming around with the scout. But by the time he's going to see this, tech up should be complete. He might just immediately commit to the ticket. I hope he doesn't. Like, he shouldn't really need to, because he didn't have enough gold to get it straight away on the Pro Scouts anyway. Scout moving in. Does see the mine work? He doesn't know. No. There we go. Okay, he gets the glancer. So he'll click on the outcropping now. He'll know that this is 2TC. It's not some sort of baited play into something else. So info gained early. This is really good news for the Swede. It means he can actually do something about this. Yeah, that was almost a disastrous situation. I mean, in theory, he should always get there in time, but sometimes you just kind of like lose track and just want to get the sheep home. It's easy to forget, even at this level of play. Question now, yeah. So it looks like sort of he thinks it's going to be a southpaw, and he's dead right. Look at that. It's going to be a move to the south side. His scout's already in position. Second one's coming. Guys, I'm starting to like the look of this game for sort of. He can delay this just a little bit. But he goes pro scouts anyway. Now that's a little bit surprising. I thought he might try to buy time with the scouts and go for the play. But I guess the issue you run into here is Order of the Dragon villages are more tanky. And at the end of the day, this is a civ that has access to emergency repairs. So you can try to kill off a building, but you're going to need 3 rams to feel content about it. And even then, it's kind of dodgy diving into deer boar without any sort of food gain yourself. Yeah. So with this choice, I am preferring Anatan's position here. The deer placement is pretty nice. He gets the boar pull as well on top of that, which is easy to achieve. He's got the berries on top. And this still leaves these reserve resources in the corner. He could have dropped a TC back here, sure. But this is much easier to secure in the mid-game than this is. And it's also further away from sort of's base, which makes it harder to pro scouts it all back. Who's looking forward to more changes to pro scouts? I was just thinking about it as I say pro scouts a lot here, and I'm like, well, maybe we need additional changes. I'm reminded, guys, we still have got AMD for one more stream, so be sure to click on that link when you see it as well. Help those guys out. Okay, so sort of, how are we looking here? It is going to be a stable, so he's committing in the feudal. I think that's the right call. So he's going to try to get his surge of resources, but he is going to contest. I mean, you could argue you're just going Castle Age here. Getting Horse Archers, not a terrible idea necessarily, but the problem with Horse Archers is they can lose out against Gilded Crossbowmen. You know, if you go Castle, you're probably opening up your opponent going Castle as well. And do you really want to let OOTD get to where you could argue the best units are? Like, if you think about it, if you can actually keep a Dragon player in Feudal as Rus, you do answer a lot of the units quite well. You know, you have your own Archers to contest their Gilded Archers. Their Men-at-Arms play, not that effective against Rus Knights, right? You can just kind of cycle charge them. Love that wall's already coming in. This is just... You know when you just kind of get a game, you get a spawn, you're like, okay, so Pro Scout should be really easy here. But now you're looking at it, you're like, this is kind of toxic. Understand? A bit ambitious there. Yeah, I think if there was a bit more micro, he probably could have denied one of the scouts temporarily. But Deer will be coming home. The rest, however, is going to be safe.
Now you're my...
A little bit of a split. But it has the mill, plus the TC's close enough. So everything's safe here. And I know it's just going to be a fast castle play. So no aggro at all. Means it opens a door for Sorp to try and do something. I'm just worried with the Pro Scouts play, it's not going to be a quick enough something. But we do love to see those quickly coming in. What's up, Deniska? Thank you very much for the raid, mate. Shout out to Deniska. Always good to see the lad. Was he in KPMM this week? Did we have you here, mate? Double checking. I don't think I saw your name. I might be wrong. Yes, you were. Okay, yeah, 2-0 against Gully. Damn. Poor Deniska. I mean, in fairness, Gully, he beat Louis as well. Okay, in fairness, it was a DQ, but yeah, that was the chill side of the bracket, considering Louis just tapped out. And a Burgrave Palace now on the way. This has become the norm for Order of the Dragon, and it just makes so much sense when you play 2TC anyway. If you're 2TC fast castle, you're no units. Regnance is worthless when you don't have units, because without map control, you can't get the relics. And those relics are pretty tightly squeezed together. This is a big commitment from Sword of. I'm not actually convinced that like this is a hit. We'll see how he'll do, but he's at least going to get in with the first night. Burgrave has been slowed down, by the way. Yeah, Anatan, so he's prepping reserve resources. And wait, what? Wait, what's the board doing? Wait, oh my god! Oh, you freaking genius! Anatan, no, he didn't get it though. What? That was the play! Oh my god, come on. That was genius and he didn't complete it. The boar, so remember guys, if you pull the boar and then wall it off, when it de-aggroes, it will run the shortest route to return to its location. So it was going to run all the way underneath the TC and he could have grabbed it for a kill. But I think maybe what happened, and I have to double check, it might have been healing on the retreat. When he tries to, because when you can body block it, but it doesn't, I don't think it necessarily disables the healing. There's some ways it does work, like for example, when you pull it along Palisade, we've seen people do that on Reddit and whatnot. The outpost going up. Anno in a bit of a dire state here on the secondary TC. Spears aren't being spammed up though. Remember, spears is all you really need to defend this right now. It's not many archers from Sword of, not to mention the fact the archers can't easily dive these static emplacements. Targify is actually just going in on the knights. The weird part to me from Anatan is that we don't have any priority into arrow slits upgrades. So he could maybe have gathered a little bit of stone, but the other thing is no steeled arrow. He's missing out a lot of DPS here. And it's weird because he definitely has enough gold to afford steeled arrow. No, I mean, it might be he just forgot about it temporarily. Marketplace is coming in now to try and fix it all. I'm so bummed out. That would have been so sick with the boar. I'll have to double check it back in the replay because I do wonder now if it was going to work or not. Spear's just scaring him away. I don't know. Like, can he actually chill here long term? Because he's blocking the village elite really with this play. It's just very expensive to sort of. Like, he's definitely not in a position to tech up with this type of commitment. And with a lack of heavily armored units, he's just going to slowly die to the emplacements. I guess the idea is if he dies slow enough, it's going to be worth it. And also, there's been no veterancy on the Spearman. Instead, Anatan, he pivots into the Guild of Men-at-Arms that have yet to be upgraded here. Yeah, and it means that sort of should be able to keep this pressure up. Moving towards the main now. We do have the monastery drop, which is a bit ambitious for Anatan, and I like this. We talked about this as his security, his backup plan. He's moving in now to wall it off to play the deer, because right now the harassment coming in is making it very difficult to gather here. What's up, Wembley Hog? I'll happily gather more of those. Thank you for the sub, mate. Keep those subs pumping, folks. New replay system on Twitch. The big thing that sent people over to YouTube. Well, apparently now you can come back. Oh, this is getting ugly, though. Sort of 8 villager kills. I'm actually impressed he's getting this many, considering that Anatan did go for textiles. Steel Arrow definitely paying off. Spearman now going to start surging out. Men at arms with them as well. And the archer count low from Sword Off because he's kind of discombobulated here. All over the place, in fact. Still, looks like Sword Off is now ready for an age up. And I've got to give him props to this, man. 43 to 43, just shrinking that villager lead by quite a bit. 10 worker kills so far in this game, but he needs to be fast about this. With the men-at-arms coming out, you know you're starting to lose your grip because it means your opponent can just pump into the veterancy. Remember, the veterancy for the men-at-arms is cheaper than the spearmen, so easily attainable and much quicker as well. My trade house is just going to be on this tree line because the problem is sort of played such a long feudal age. There's nothing left to get the double trees. So, a bit of an underwhelming one in the end. Get your numbers in. It is at least a fresh tree line. It hasn't been touched at all. Archie's definitely starting to get touched there. The men-at-arms. Clapping in. Very tanky now. They have got the castle upgrade. It's just you're not getting past this, right? You can try to ignore it and move past it, but that just means you're allowing the men-at-arms with the better attack speed to stand their ground and club into you. Quicker way of dying. Now, I love what Anatan does. Says, okay, the harassment over. I already dealt with the deer. Now I get the risky resource. Out onto the boar he goes. It's up in the corner over here. This boar's still available if he wants it down the line. Will I be casting EGT on the weekend? I'm trying to figure that out now because I don't know how doable Saturday is. I'm seeing the shift to Sunday because I never got a response. 67 gold. Okay, so we're looking at... Wait. Hold on a sec. We had one guess. Yo. Alright, that guy's from the future. 0-3 is clearly from the future. 134 exactly. Slam dunked it. Do you know what you win, sir? Do you know what you've won by getting that answer right? You've won the ability to subscribe to the channel and then get access to the rewind feature so that you can watch me say you got it right again. There you go. Okay, so Sordov's pretty camped in. He's done a good job of getting veterancy in. Anatan still just doesn't have a real eco lead now. Yeah, especially considering the boar he's having to gather off of is his only upside, right? Like, berries are negative. The walk distance also kind of painful. I'm impressed, man. I think Sordov's played this really well. I'm reminding people, English in chat, or there will be timeouts. We don't speak or read Krillic. Horseman now arriving. Sort of. Handful of spearmen on the front side, but the men-at-arms littered in. It's difficult to hang around long enough. Now the horseman just break past. Sort of in retreat. The problem is he's transitioning into crossbowmen, which is also going to struggle against this. The knights are, however, going to be good. Anatan yet to realize an answer to knights. Yeah, I think what Anna is trying to do here is clear out the archers and then transition into gilded crossbowmen, which makes a lot of sense for Order of the Dragon. Because if you rush into crossbows, the archers just kill you off, right? Just so many horsemen. So expensive. Remember, the gilded horsemen, same price as knights. And speaking of those knights, Anatan gets found in the corner. Wasn't able to get the rewall out in time. So sort of making off with extra goods. Harassment is looking good. And overall, sort of just looking miles ahead now. Like, you know, with that breach there, Anatan does not have much safe food to work with. He's basically got his starter berries, and that's kind of it. To make matters worse, because he's playing into things like men-at-arms, spearmen here, it's very slow. It means that the knights can just out-rotate you. And it's just a great tug and pull, right? You're just seeing it back and forth here. You move one way, I drop the other. It's just a numbers game. Like, this is where all the Dragon usually looks kind of sucky. It's why most of the time players try to seek a worker lead. Because when you don't have that worker lead, what ends up happening is you just don't have enough troops to guard multiple flanks. You know, it's the worst case of Benny Hills you could ever imagine. More villagers. They got caught going out to the ball. But wait a second. I think, sort of done with the split game. His Knights going to keep charging in, but the main army now on the way, and Anatan is about to get the bad news. He just left the base with the men-at-arms, and the crossbows have started to be revealed, so Anno, now aware that horsemen can still help him, but what the hell do you do about the spears and the knights? And 3 of the spearmen not upgraded isn't going to help either. Archer's actually starting to do some damage here into the men-at-arms, which only have the +1 armor. Knights are going to bide their time on jumping in here. They're pretty much using archers as a front line, and this is going to mincemeat him out. Your boy sort of with the opening game win against Anashad. A great start to the series out of him. And we're going to have to double check on that boar. Yeah, bear with me one sec, because we got to see the boar. We got to have a look at the boar. And yes, guys, I don't speak Russian. I don't speak Ukrainian, Russian, any of that. Right? So if you're in my chat, English, or we'll start doing timeouts. Am I tanned? Do I look that tanned? I'm like tanned on my arms. Don't know how much that's showing. But we cooked a little. I'm terrible for things like sun cream as well. So like my shoulders got really burnt, like really bad. Because I just don't ever do a beach or whatever. I already said to Emma, is like, you know, enjoy the sunny places while you can, because when our kids are double digits, we're going to places like Sweden, right? And Finland and, you know, the Alps and whatever. We're gonna go skiing and snowboarding and all that stuff. Alright, so let's have a quick look at this game again. Because I'm curious now. Alright, so let's have a look at this again. Whoa, Scarecrow with a 7 stream streak? Only 7? Dude, I expect people to be down to 1 after getting tripped up, you know? Alright, I'm curious to see if this was intentional or not. So we're checking the ball pull because he ended up pulling it in a really cool way. And I think it's worth you guys seeing. Oh, the audio issues? Wait, but you're on a 7-1, so like the audio issues today when I'm... Oh, wait, the other day. Okay, yeah. Oops. Well, clearly you're just not like a true fan, you know? Alright, guys, here we go. We're going to be checking out to see if this was an intentional bull pull coming in from Anatan. Bull pull. That's what we need to do, bulls. So the ball here, the scout's waiting nearby. It was intentional. So Anatan, the Giga Brain, yeah, he almost scramble brained himself there. So he pulls through, and look what happens. When you get the re-wall, oh my god, yeah, he taps it just enough. So the ball will now seek to get back to where it came from. But to do so, it has to run all the way around. Wait, is it actually chasing... Dude, it almost looked like it was chasing the scout, which would have been weird. Because it shouldn't be chasing the scout. So he brings it around here. He brings the wall up. And then he goes to the grab. But this is the moment. Oh my god, dude! So it was starting to heal. But then on top of that, he didn't get the surround. And then he... Oh my god. Oh, I know, dude. When your brain's too big for your hands to keep up, Pumbaa lives to eat and graze another day. And he did live all the way through, courtesy of sort of coming in to save him later. That's brilliant. Oh, man. Yeah, like, I was like, he's definitely trying for this, because the problem is it will start healing again, right? So you need to be on it. And let me just quickly... We need to be there in future. That was quite funny, though. All right, let's get ready for game 2. Like, that one might be uploadable just for the funniness of the end. I don't know. We'll see. His brain's, like, too big for his hands. Dude, I actually kind of wonder how different does the game look if he doesn't screw that up, right? You got anyone else thinking that right now? Because like he had an issue. He had all those villagers over on the secondary TC, but if he gets that ball pull correctly, he can pull those villagers back towards the primary. I think that's pretty game changing if he captures the ball correctly. I mean, it shows you like just like one small slip up, right? Can change it all. All right, let's get ready for game 2. Damn. I'm glad we caught that at the end, because it's like, I just thought he was walling to protect the resources. It made sense. That was brilliant, though. And yes, sort of won. He took game 1 with the Rus. So game 2, we're heading into Calauga. It's going to be Ibids versus Knights Templar. It's Knights Templar. Do I need, like... Do I actually need to say more than this? It's a Knights Templar pick on a water map. Okay, guys, here we go. Game number 2. We're going to Calauga this time. And somehow, with Calauga being drafted, this was allowed in, right? We have got a Knights Templar pick, sort of trying to answer the Ibids, though. We've been seeing Ibids a little bit more frequently on these water hybrid maps, and they have been looking fairly impressive. Still, I think it's going to be difficult. Like, Knights Templar, it's just the surge point. They're just so good at gathering wood early on. It feels impossible to stop them from greeting like this, especially with Ibids that just isn't really a civ that spear spams out, right? Like, when I think of civs that might be able to take Knights Templar doing this, you're probably thinking something along the lines of, like, Ottomans, Mongols, etc. Even they can struggle, though. Like, the problem of the spear spam idea is that Knights Templar can still fast age, and if they do that, they just archer spam and kill you off, right? Why am I not rocking all my Warlord banners behind me? You have 2 more? I don't have 2 more. I have 1 more. But they're different sizings and different styles. So, like, especially because I haven't got 3. And it's almost like you want 2 of them to be the same sizing. So then you have, like, a themic look. Otherwise, it looks kind of clunky. So, sort of does get the eyeballs on. But we won't be getting racks. House of Wisdom's going to be coming in, as expected. What's the idea here? Is it industry? Because industry has been fairly popular. Alternatively, could you maybe go for, like, just a standard growth? And this series, I believe, happened a little bit earlier today. So we have got some live series coming up. In fact, let me just double check. So I noticed that Voldemar and Scatterbrain series got pinged. I'm just double checking what time. So Voldemar and Scatterbrain should be playing at, I believe it's in about an hour and a half. Okay, moment of truth, sort of. What are we doing? Because I'm trying to think if there's anything creatively different you could do here. Like, Logi is not really useful. Yeah, so it's just going to be industry. Yeah, normally in water map situations from Ibids, you'll see a mixture of, like, industry. We've seen occasional growths. Advancement can sometimes make sense here, but, like, he doesn't even have a dock yet to try and aggro with. So it looks like the idea for sort of is to split drop on the sides with the industry wing. Alternatively, he could put this wood towards an early production building and then get into military units. But I think that's very difficult to do, like, quick enough. You know, you go for the ram with the extra wood, right? But that ram's going to be relatively unguarded. Like, all it would take for Anatan is building 1 archer ship and then building a few land units to guard him. For him, for Anatan, I would expect him on a delay to probably be going in this matchup, Hospitalaire. Kingdom of France doesn't really make much sense against Ibids because you're just building worse knights into debuff, which is a worse than worse feeling. My chance to be saying I'm a very modest guy, and I'm like, of course I'm going to show off. Like, guys, you see my incredible life? I should show you all the recordings from my holiday. I got to show off. When you've got 2 amazing kids like I do, you always show them off. I mean, yeah, dude, I'm so humble. I'm like the humblest person, bro. Like, you know, the other day, I was like chilling there, and like I noticed Gandhi scrolling through my old videos, and he was like, that guy's humble. That's how humble I am. This is like you know when some people they have the interview and they go, I'm a sort of I'm a sort of confident person. Sorry, I had to make that joke. You know when it's like I think I'm a confident person. You think? You either are or you aren't. Are you confident or not? Anna now with the walls. Because sort of is looking to get up in his face here. We've got a dog drop in the center, so this will be an archer ship opening. Anno. It's not really that much further behind, right? Just 30 seconds difference here. But the difference in economy matters a lot. Sort of has 0 fishing boats, while Anatan has 5. And your second dock is just so far back, it's not meant for aggro, so wall's already going to go up there for Anno. Secondary wall coming through. We're just getting a little bit of a maze here. And sort of, yep, he's going to be forced off of this. His scout can't win this fight. In fact, I don't think his scout... Can he buy enough time? Yeah. Oh, I know he gets the wall. Yeah, so that's a full denial. So Anatan, he doesn't even need to react to the water play right now. He could focus on getting land units out to deny the docks. Yeah, this is rough, man. I mean, Kalauga can just sometimes be like this, especially when it's a Knights Templar pick. Wait. No, we're good. We're good. So, I swear, sometimes with these wall cancels, it is so baiting. Like, one's in chat if you thought he could get through there. You're totally forgiven if you thought he could get through there. Because it looks like he should be able to. You know, like, wait. He's just like, oh. Oh, nice. You can actually clip the fishing boats. Double archery now. And we've got Hospitalaire spam. Yeah, mods, the guy's begging you. He wants you to time him out. How does the boat steer without a crew on it? Well, I didn't want to say it, but heresy. It's heresy. These hereticals, they worship camels. Do I need to say more? Actually, did you guys realize this is a historically accurate fight? IU's up against the Knights Templar. Okay, so KT marching across. The interesting part though is like Hospitalaire is not terrible, but not great either. Because the melee armor, like you hit for so little against Desert Raiders, but as a healer boy, it's pretty smart here. Like if you actually just get Hospitalaire plus Spearman, you can't cheese your opponent with Desert Raider spam to archer them out. It doesn't work. Okay, so gonna push the army back here. Sort of almost done with the Ford berries. Has got the deer close enough to TC that he should have safe food in the base. For now. Anatan is recommitting resources, so it's not going to be a sneak out into fast castle or anything. Which makes sense. You know, with the way he's scaling his comp, it's actually more beneficial for Irobids to try and the age up here just for Camel Lancer play. Or Ghoulems. So you don't want to enable that. Also, if you do play more of a greedy age game, you're going to have limited food. Your opponent's got more fishing to work with. So Anno just putting it to good work to try and deny resources elsewhere. There are crews for siege in the game files. I remember seeing that. But yeah, they never got added properly to the game. I think the reason that they chose not to add the units on board and on siege is because of the visual clutter. Because when you get into a fight, it would look like your opponent would have more infantry units than they would, and it would get very confusing at a glance. Same reason why I think a lot of buildings don't move. Like, if you guys never noticed that, like, for example, a stables, why is there a horse like that? Does that horse not look like he should move? He does, right? So I think that was all intentional from the developers because they didn't want to overstimulate. Because RTSs can already be very chaotic and hard to follow, and they didn't want to make it even harder for people who play the game. Personally, I don't like that. I would have preferred an option so that if you wanted to, you could toggle animations off. And that would have been the nice mid-ground. But it's always possible that they intended, and then what really happened wasn't just visual clutter, but was optimization as well. Because we all know how ridiculously inefficient trees are. Good God, the trees. The frame loss is crazy. Hey, baby. Nice wood. Mind if I just take it? He has got the back tree line. And it's getting pretty nicely here. The horseman comp coming in from sort of. 7 so far, but the idle time without wheelbarrow is a sting to the testicles. 19 villagers just not working. And also, he's using his base against him with his dive. The horsemen aren't arriving quick enough. Yeah, it means the few units that he has in melee are able to body block. Great fight there for Anatan. Steeled arrow advantage, huge by the way, because sort of has made the classic Iabid error of not having blacksmiths. Yep, no steeled arrow, no undermesh. I mean, in fairness to him in this type of game, he couldn't if he wanted to with the Ford Gold Vein. Got blocked off of it straight away. Now, with an army this big, Anatan sees an opportunity to seize away resources elsewhere. Moves in. Should be able to find a worker kill here. Gets a fishing boat on top of that. Torch is now coming out. Archer ship is coming back. Against this many archers, it can just die easily. I'd be surprised if Anatan jumps on that. Instead, though, he steers inward. Game just looking great right now for the Belarusian. Also, I'm going to try to rotate for some raids. I mean, it's kind of what he has to do right now. I guess you could say sort of what he has to do. Because a direct fight just doesn't favor him. He tried to rush out into gold again? No, he hasn't tried at all. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know what Sortov's idea is here. He looks just kind of stuck. I don't think you can play long feudal without blacksmith techs here. It's just a losing game. Like, this next fight is going to be so one-sided. Archers move in. Denial of vision. They dive into the base. Desert Ready gets taken out straight away. There's no horsemen here. And this is disaster. Sort of rides home with the horsemen now. But the villagers, they can't work. They can't do anything. It's over half of his economy. This looks over. Yeah, even if Sort of gets his shivs out right now, he'll lose this fight. That's how grim the outlook is. And it's all because of blacksmith techs. Let this be a stark reminder to people. You know, long feudals without blacksmiths is a death sentence for most civs. There's only a few that can really pull it off. Ibid's deceptive. Sometimes feels like you can with the opening desert raiders, but if you can't get tempo, can't get control, it just puts you miles behind like this. That's a quick game. How was my trip? The trip was good. Refreshing with the family. We had like an open, like all-you-can-eat buffet type thing. So it's all-inclusive at the restaurant, in the hotel. So like we had as much food as you wanted, and then we had like drinks at the bar were free as well. So you had like cocktails like Sex on the Beach, Pina Coladas, Tequila Sunrises, Blue Lagoons, Purple Rain. There was like Gin Fizz, and then I think the final one was the Green Monster. Mostly had like Sex on the Beaches or Tequila Sunrises. Sadly, the Pina Coladas sucked. They were really bad. But yeah, the food was like a mixed bag. Some of the food just wasn't that good. So like I remember I had these they kept, you know what the best thing was? I was kind of shocked by this. I didn't think I'd do this as a Ron Swanson fearing man. I was absolutely in love with the potatoes they made. They just had these potatoes in like I think it's like an olive oil sauce. But they had so much flavor to them. So I just kept going for those. So, no, so let me see if I can. Oh, dude, it keeps rotating weirdly. I don't know why. I don't think it's going to let me. I'm going to try. Ooh. Dude, it's not. I don't know why my phone's being weird like that. There you go. So, yeah, we had these potatoes. And they were, like, they were my clutch go-to time and time again. That and the gyros. The gyros was incredible. I even sent them to Mr. And I'll show you. So this is like, yeah, so I sent him a picture, a little video of these gyros. And this was his response. You guys see that? Like, that looks Greek. So those gyros, they were so good I think it was 3 of them. But yeah, it was a good time. We went to the beach a lot with the kids. Freya, she's learned to swim. So like she has armbands, but like before she would have the armbands, but she wouldn't like, you had to hold her. Like, seriously, she was completely scared in the water. Like, I would try and pull her away from me, and then she'd scream no, and she'd like pretty much strangle you. and then she'd dig her heels in around the back of you, like you couldn't get her off, right? It's like when a cat gets thrown in water and jumps out. But in like the final day, she just started like floating freely in the final 2 days, and then the final day she started like swimming forward with her armbands. She was freaking adorable. I think I haven't put them on my PC, so it's like I have to show you via the phone, so it's not like it's a bit scuffed quality. But we had a like, let's see if I can get it. Oh yeah, we had stuff stuff like this. So there you go. There she is. It's coming in. Oh, but the best one, guys. I'm a great dad, and you want proof of it? Here's your proof. You guys see that? Ready? So we went to Zakynthos, or Zante as most tourists call it. So we stayed in Seville. In the Altura Hotel. Betrayal. Dude, like, I mean, she's had to learn. She kept telling us to jump in. My daughter is just so hilarious, though. She was bossing around kids 4 and 5 times her age. So she'd get in the pool, and there'd be like 14-year-old girl. She's like, you follow me, yeah? And the girl would just like, sure. She'd just follow her around the pool. Like the final night, she had this girl who's like 13 or 14. And she was holding her hand, and she's like, let's find your brother. And she was running around the hotel, dragging this girl around. Like, I'm telling you, my daughter is the future Prime Minister of the UK. And you know what? Even if she got installed tomorrow, she'd probably do a better job. That girl's got leadership skills, man. She just says things and people listen. Zante has nice beaches? Yes. I can show you one, actually. Show you the one we were at. And then we'll hop into the game. Oh, dude, like, we got this photo. This is, like, such a good photo. I said, like, there should be, like, holiday, like, brochures that pay us for this photo. Look at that photo. The quality's kind of low like this, but it looks like a holiday photo with those two. But we had, like, the... Let me see if we can find it. Yeah, so we had... 1 second. Oh, yeah, that wasn't a nicer one. I could have sworn I took one. Because, like, we could just see across the other islands. We could even see, like, the mainlands. Like, really big mountain areas with, like, clouds coming through. I could have sworn I took a picture of that. I must have done it on Emma's phone instead, though. Because it looked absolutely gorgeous. I hope I took a photo of that. Yeah. Okay, yeah, here you go. So, hold on a sec. I'll quickly show you guys this, and then we'll hop into the next game. There you go. Sorry, the quality is not good because I'm doing it like this. I should probably just download it across on the phone. But yeah, that island over there, you can see in the distance, had like the clouds all around it. I was like, dude, I kind of wish we took a day to go to the mainland and climb that bad boy. All right, you guys ready? We can talk more after the next game. High praise from Mister. Usually he just says Greek food is the best. Dude, like, I was like, I've been to Athens before and I had gyros there, and it's like, it's so good. It's so freaking good. Like, gyros are pretty good. I think probably Turkish kebabs in Germany still beats it by a little bit, but gyros is like almost peak. They're so good. For those that don't know, gyros is basically like a doner kebab, right? So you get the pork meat, then you usually have like a red onion, tomato, lettuce. I don't think they usually do. Chips or fries. And then you add in a bunch of like sauces, like tzatziki, and there's 2 others. Pork? Yeah, they use pork. Greeks love pork. Oh, sorry, I think you can get lamb as well, but like I think usually they use pork. And yes, gyros. So like English-speaking people typically mispronounce it. Is lamb? It can be lamb or pork. I think the ones we had was probably pork. But yes, you are right. It can be lamb as well, but it can be either. Like, you can even eat chicken, technically, a gyros is still. But, like, a traditional gyros is either pork or lamb. But yeah, so gyros, a.k.a. gyros, is how, like, or gyros is how a lot of people say it. But it's pronounced gyros. If you want to be Greek about it. All right? And we honor the Greeks the proper way. Why are my lips so appealing today? It's probably because, like, The tan of my face as well. I don't know. They're very red, aren't they? It can be chicken, yes. But like I say chicken, like I don't know. I mean, I don't. So that was the one thing for me that was weird. Is like I think the way that Greeks like to do their chicken is kind of like it's all thigh and all like boned meat, whereas I'm used to like breast, right? And the weird one to me is when we had chicken curry as an option in the restaurant, because it's just trays and you just go and get what you want. And the chicken curry was weird because the chicken curry was like, it was just bone. It was like, I think it's thigh chicken or whatever. It was like on the bone chicken covered in curry sauce. Now, for anyone who's had chicken curry, at least everywhere I've had chicken curry, the way you have chicken curry is it's diced up breast or maybe thigh, but it's like, it's not bone based, right? It's already been chopped up so that it can cook in with the sauce and whatever. So that was very odd. I will say the breakfast was kind of sucky though. I wasn't a fan of it. The yogurt was great, but like I don't know, man. The way that hotel done baked beans was, as a Brit, I was offended, man. That was done wrong. All right, you guys ready? Let's hop in for another one. Isn't GY pronounced Y in Greek? Maybe. So Eros. I mean, I've heard multiple Greeks call it gyros. So I'm pretty sure it's gyros. Or they're just like a little bit heavy on the accent. But either way, it's a lot closer than gyros and gyros. All right, you guys ready? Let's go for it. Whew. All right, enough debates about how gyros is pronounced. I've bathed in olive oil for over a week, so I am now an expert on all matters Byzantines. Probably more so than, like, a Swede anyway, at least historically. In-game, though, Sorov definitely forced to be reckoned with. However, he may have picked it into his downfall here. Sorov has picked Byzantines on a map I think is quickly becoming borderline S tier for Lancaster. I don't know. Like, how many civs can actually deal with Lancaster on this map? It's not many. I think most civs fall victim to the Abbey of Kings build here more than anywhere else in the game right now. This is going to be rough. Ay. This feels like it's going to be a hard Biz matchup. Absolutely. Like, I've seen so many theoretically good civs on this map fail here big time. Like, I would say right now, the best civs on this map, Lancaster is probably the best generic civ. Ottoman situationally works really well. Cliffside can also be decent for Chushi, but you have to dodge picks like Ottomans, for example, or I think you struggle a lot. But yeah, like, these are the guys are the beasts. Spearman opening, and it's already Fort Stone, which is just rougher, sort of. So Denal's going to come in there, which is already frustrating. He's got enough stone for one cistern. He will gradually get enough for a second with building structures, but he's now wasted 50 wood on the mining camp. Yeah, and the full-up rotation onto the gold. I mean, this is something that sort of should have in theory been expecting, actually. I do find it a little bit weird that he even went for stone outcropping here. Because, guys, remember, when you play Byzantines, your first thought is, can the civ I'm against spearman rush me? Yes. If the answer is yes, panic, right? Like, or, instead of panicking, eat the berries and then go for Hippodrome. But did you guys notice something here? Sort of never went for the berries. So he wants to be able to get Grand Winery. He does get the gold necessary. And Anatan will have scouted this out, so he should know now, okay, the berries haven't been eaten. This is very clearly a Grand Winery intent. And Gyros is the correct way to pronounce it? Nice. I thought so. I'm pretty sure I've literally heard Mr. call it Gyros, so I'm pretty confident of it. At least he's got a back gold. I mean, you're playing Byzantines. Why do you want gold? You want berries and you want stone. Even your primary tree line is forward, right? Which I guess in some ways is good. It's splitting up the rotation at least. Banner on the other side has got people out in the gold now, so it shouldn't be too long before he's getting ready to go into feudal. For the time being, though, because he knows this is Grand Winery, he's about to educate sort of on why you can't Grand Winery. It's an outpost rush. Yeah, and sort of, if he doesn't get eyeballs on, this could be snuck in without his knowing. Because right now his scout's on the other side of the map. Anatan is gonna be bold, though. He builds it in vision, but barely. Yeah, this game is looking weird. I want to know what sort of thought process is, because he's been playing a lot of AoE 4. He's not the newbie fresh back on the scene like he was at the start of the year relearning the game. Like, he knows this stuff. So it's just going to be a villager pull. He hasn't activated Akratoy, though. But remember, he's got range. So he's going to wait for the Spearman to engage. And there you go. Shiv's come out. So Anatan will have to delay this. Akratoy lasts so long, though. 20 seconds remaining. I'm a little bit surprised that the Anno even tried to contest that at first. He hasn't cancelled the outpost, however. Let's lose one of the spears. 11 seconds left. An outpost down. So props to him, sort of does clear the way. In fairness, it does kind of feel like that's Anno's own fault, though, right? Like, he could have built that slightly further back. So I'm wondering if he intentionally done it to bait attention. It's weird because you could argue it's so close to the edge that he forgot. But my thought process here is it's so close to the edge that it kind of looks like a mistake. But what you've done instead is delayed your opponent's value on age up while you now catch up to age up. Still, he has the villager here. He can always attempt another outpost. And remember, because sort of has gone for Grand Winery, he doesn't want to have to open archers here. Which means these spearmen should not be contested. Especially without Akratoy. Remember, it's a very long cooldown. Anatan needs to either crap or get off the seat. Goes a little bit deep with the outpost now. And reminder, guys, we have got AMD with us for one more week. So click on that link. When you saw it pop up at the chat, it does help out. Whenever you see the links for our sponsors, helps out immensely. In fact, I just realized I forgot to add one back in, didn't I? Oops. Let me bring the beauties back, because we have got PC specialists rejoining us. I'm so goddamn happy about that. Love those guys. Archer's coming out, so sort of does bite the bullet. Still, you're not really happy having to do this. It's inevitable, it's required, but it definitely doesn't feel good. Yeah, because like I've seen some comps that work really well where you just archer plus longbow, but you don't really want to be doing that into Hovelar. Like Hovelar is the critical counter there. Like, it's just another example where Lancaster has your number. And hello, Frey. Yeah, that one's Daddy's phone, thank you. You want to say hi to stream? Oh, well. Come. Nice.
Me and baby.
Say hi, stream.
Hi, stream.
All right, thank you.
Hi, stream.
Do you have a fun holiday?
Yeah, I did stream.
Are you back to terrorize?
Yes, stream.
All right, you go now. Say bye, stream. Good girl. Off you go. I love that girl. So, perfect time to have Freya intercept before the aggro starts to build up. We have got the Lords now arriving. And Western Contract it is. It just feels so bad to have built this archery range though, right? For 2 archers and now for it to be dead weight. Because the idea is if you go Lombos, you don't want to build normal archers ever. Right? You just want to scale them off your merc. So it just feels kind of wasteful. Villagers for Anatan. He actually takes the small tree lines first, so we'll be shifting to the big one afterwards. We have got Stone Gathering, so it's going to be a gradual play into Manus. First one now being installed. Reminder, sort of barely got any value out of these berries, right? He had about a third of them. So enough for one Lombo group, but he can't actually grab the second. We already have a Hobbler switch up from Anno. First one's arriving. Remember, the thing with Hobblars is they're just so cost efficient. 90 resources to force this type of reaction. Like, this is a crazy thought in this matchup. Sort of is spending the same amount on a counter unit as the base unit per. Hobblars are 90. Limitane are also 90. The painful part for Byzantines is you're stuck defensive, and now you're burning your food quicker than your opponent. Right? It's only 70 food for a Hobblar compared to 80 for the Limitane. Limitane don't really solve the Lords either. Yeah, we heard it from Vortex when we interviewed him a few weeks back. Like, the problem right now, really, with the Lords build is the Lords themselves, they're a bit too good. The aura is incredible, but you don't want to take that away. The bigger problem is that they're very tanky, and they have surprisingly good DPS. Right? Their damage is fantastic. You see it right there. Look how quickly they slap one of these guys down. Ship's coming out. Hoblar just proving to be a little bit of a nuisance there. But good choice by Sword Off. He goes into the textiles. And now with the Lombos arriving, Anatan will start to feel a little bit worried here. Yeah, higher base damage unit that can snipe down the Lords easily as it scales. So, you know, the key thing for Anatan is making sure that Lombo comp doesn't get up to 15, 20. If it reaches that point, that's when the Lord strategy starts to flop a bit. Even though the Hoblars are still strong, it'll be very difficult for the Lords to be in the fights, which means you'll be missing out on 20% more HP, which essentially makes your Hoblars have standard Horseman health for 25% less cost. Yemen switch now. Only 2 so far. Interesting. I thought he might just start spamming them up. They are very expensive, though. Instead, Anatan is going to be prioritizing the play into additional manas. All right, 1's if you think Sword Off's going to win this. 2's if you think Anatan is. I'm kind of surprised he didn't just make spears. The problem is, like, Lancaster has that same effect as English in a way. Like, oh, if you build spears, they're just going to build better bows. Now, admittedly, those bows are very expensive, but still. And we saw the Limitane kind of struggling against the Lords of Lancaster. Sure, it's 3-on-1, so kind of unfair for the Limitane, but conceptually, you understand just how much better the Lords are, right? Like, you have 8 damage, 100 HP on the Limitane. Meanwhile, this guy, with 4 of them there, 267 health, 2 melee armor, 16 damage. And the other problem is if you go just Limitane, you don't have any way of sniping them. Limitane struggle less than 250 wooden to 2 archers. The problem, though, is if he does Spearman opening instead of Archer opening, Anatan can, at least in theory, get an outpost up. Because you'd have to run past his Spearman to stop the villager. So you just get stabbed down. That's the other reason people typically go Archers there. Okay, lost the berries gathered. So Sword Off's done a good job of getting the olive oil here. And has got Groves in. So he'll eventually get the 3rd group of Lombos. That's when this starts to reach kind of the critical mass point where you get some potency. My concern is there's already so many Hobbler. Yes, ludicrous. We're up to 17 now. I mean, at this point, Anatan is just going to be a full switch into Yeoman. Backstab comes through on the north side of the tree lines. He baits the army out of the base. Yeah, and sort of in a panic, he's still chasing. He doesn't react. Shift's now going to come out. Actroid defense has been activated, but it's into the Lords. The ultimate defender, or in this case, aggressor, has to garrison the villages instead. Bought enough time for Limitane to now arrive. But just look how much effort it takes to kill these guys off. Oh my god. The idle time impact here, definitely a big deal. Only 3 worker kills at the end of it, but now I feel like sort of he needs a counter attack. Hoblar's jumping again. Very difficult to get kills against the textiles. An expensive army lost there. Okay, this is the point. This is the moment. Sort of should read this perfectly. That was an expensive fight for Anatan. It was an illogical one in the end. He didn't get a good enough trade despite the great drag. Sort of now gets access to additional berries. His Lombo count hasn't inflated again just yet. But instead of attacking, I do believe Sorov is going to try to tech here. Doesn't that just open the door for Anatan to counteroffensive, though? Like, if you choose tech over blob here, your opponent's units count you pretty well. Like, Yeoman can dodge the Lombos, deal with the spears, and then Hobblar will just munch the Lombos. He's going to move forward towards the outpost. I know, I think the big problem with this dive earlier, and he doesn't realize it yet, it's the blacksmiths. Yeah, he's got it down here, but he never researched the techs. A little bit of an oversight there. I mean, imagine the difference with that dive if Anno, for example, has Undermesh. Another thing that's kind of underrated here for Hobblar is the melee attack. They have very low base damage at 7. So +1 damage is like getting a 15% increase. Actually, it's more than that, right? It's like 20% increase. Sort of improved. Sort of definitely improved a lot. Sorv's been hard on the grind. You know, we highlighted this before I went on holiday that he had more games played this season than any other player on the ladder. Like, it's ridiculous the amount of games he's grinded out. He's been religiously committing to Age of Empires 4. Like, I think it's safe to say that, you know, sort of, I don't think he's going back to StarCraft now. Unless there's a StarCraft 3, I think he's here to stay. Which is great to hear. Okay, so sort of does reinvest. This is good. Horseman count needs to inflate fast, though. Yeah, it does kind of feel like he's still holding on to this idea that he can tech. I think his moment is now, though. If he chooses to hold resources back, he's going to keep getting stabbed at like this. Probably another stab coming in. Acrodote defense is there. You don't really want to use it for free Hobbler, though. And the micro is just a little bit better now. And there we go. He forces the activation, backs away. Only loses 2 Hobbler. To get that activation is actually a really big deal. Just losing 1 or 2 horsemen. Because it means when you come in next, these guys can't frontline anymore. Remember, it gives them a lot of armor, the Acrotoid defense. Melee and ranged. He's back to SE2 in a couple weeks to check the new patch out, but nothing major. Okay, interesting. I mean, SE2, I think is to a certain degree a foregone conclusion outside of, like, community support, right? I do wonder if it will feature at EWC next year. In theory, right? But, like, I don't know. I'm still putting my money on Age of Empires 2 taking its slot soon. I know that sounds weird to say as an Age of Empires 4 stream, but, like, viewership-wise, it makes sense, right? I know. He's inflating quick. Still sort of. The Horseman count is looking strong here. He's got backberries in the corner. Overall, his position is pretty nice right now. The manners are a little bit annoying. The worker loss is definitely hurt, but the systems effect is at least keeping him competitive here. You can see on the numbers. Like, I'm actually a little bit surprised he's this far behind the wood, but manners are disgusting. Yeah, I feel like he should be a bit better off, but I think there's a lot of movement right now from sort of to new resources. So that's causing a lot of idle time. That's the other thing that doesn't really get highlighted enough with manners. It's not just that manners have pretty decent return rates on the investment. It's the fact that they are constant. Villagers, when they exhaust a resource and move to a new one, there's a loss of earnings. And this happens a lot in the early game, especially with food. But for manners, it's constant. It never goes down. You always just keep getting the same. That's a huge boon when other civs are running out of resources and panic gapping as they move to a new one. You just keep on pumping. And that's why we're seeing Anatan able to catch up military count again. Hobbler raid coming in big. Villagers, they've got the Acrotoy. They need to use it right now, but there's a distraction. He moves in on the front side. Shivs come out, though. Acrotoy defense gets used. Hobblers, they commit to their targets. And they're getting great trades here. Yeah, the quicker attack speed matters a lot. We'll start to break away a little bit now. Tries to split up the fight. But the damage is done, man. Another 5 worker kills. Backstab attempt coming in here from sort of the cavalry. He's trying to rotate onto the Yeoman. But the Lords are moving back now. And the Yo's just sniping them down one by one. Sort of. He no longer has the blacksmith advantage. The Hobblers on the backside may have just hit the killing blow there. Sort of needs a big push and a big win now. Or Anatan is going to flood the field again. He already has. The Yeoman count. This is the problem, sort of. His gambit there was the Horsemen. They didn't connect. And due to a lack of connection there, the rest of his army can't really fight. Lombos may have higher damage than Yeoman, but they're critically outnumbered here. Fully outgunned and also out-health. Also, the retreats are just ugly. Lombos are slow. Limitane of shield wall just as slow. There's no getting away from a speedy archer when everything is this sluggish on movement speed. Make matters worse. Once this Limitane wave goes down, we know what happens with the Hobbler. They're goblin villagers now, but soon they'll be coming around to gobble the Lombos. Anno looks like he's going to be moving up to match point. I'm impressed, though. I think sort of had his moments here on a map that's been dominated by Lancaster. Unfortunately, it just looked like he wasn't able to thread the needle on an offensive timing when probably should have. I wonder if looking back at this, he'll feel it as well. That there was a moment there that he could have tried to cease it I think this is what Hobblears do to you. The efficiency of this unit, the cost efficiency. It just keeps you looking at your other resources, worried you're going to get raided there over and over. I mean, it just shows you everything you need to see as well. The amount of Hobblears that just died there, and just get more. It doesn't matter. Just keep on pumping, right? Like you never ran out. And this is like the interesting thing. I don't think Lancaster can straight up rush Yeoman in a standard game. But once they scale it, it never stops. And it just looks so toxic. Byzantines, meanwhile, need that tempo control with longbows or they fall behind like they did here. Love Anna, but please delete Lancaster? No, dude. We've got to make the on-land caster joke 12 times at least more. A4 just needs larger prize pools to start attracting full-time players for tournaments. I don't think that's the problem at all. I think that's counterintuitive, and that's actually how you kill esports scenes. So, like, if you need proof of this, go have a look at what happened with Deadlock. I mean, Deadlock had other issues in that it's not released yet. It'll definitely see a resurge. But the problem with Deadlock is it came out, and people got delusional because their esports scenes were failing. They're like, let's convince our gambling people we know to drop 30k on a tournament, 40k on a tournament. And then, like, after that, did the numbers go up or did they go down, guys? They went down, insanely down, like $500 for a monthly tournament level, right? So, what I'm getting at there is if you tried, like, dude, like, trying to build just giant prize pools without any structuring around it of, like, the competitive structuring of the game itself, the development of the game, all the other supporting arcs like media and advertising and marketing. If you don't do all these things to support, you are doing the equivalent of like playing Tilted Towers and just building like a wonky tower going up in one straight line without any sort of foundation, without leveling it off and bringing it up on the sides. Like you're setting up a leaning tower of Pisa that's going to fall over, you know? So like the idea that what AoE4 needs is more money, it's incorrect. What AoE4 needs is more content push, more casual content, and it also needs additional marketing support. Those things are more important first, and then you build the esports with it. And what's up, you Candy? Thank you very much for the sub, mate. Appreciate you. Welcome back to Swarm. Because the reality, guys, is if you can attract a bigger fan base of people that want to play the game and then watch the game, you don't even necessarily need Microsoft to say, let's spend $1 million on a tournament, right? You just get, like, you get crowdfunding support. That's done wonders for StarCraft to keep it alive in its current state, right? It should just be dead already, but it's holding on because of the amount of money that people like Wardy and like Tasteless have been able to pull from the community to fund it. All right, so left side win. We need a new original civs and co-op. Yeah, like you need more. There needs to be more co-op, more single player content. Like these are important avenues. Viewership comes first. Normally, you can't really buy community with prize pools. Exactly. Like. It's cool when you say it's $1 million, but then like that gets someone looking for 5 minutes and then they clock off. It does nothing. All right, guys. Let's get ready to roll with a newer game. So, game number 4. Let's get to it. We're heading into Boldland. TI once a year and then never think about it again? Exactly. All right. Here we go. Oh, wait. I just realized I left the chat window up in a really weird location from the sponsor stream the other day. Let me fix that. You guys should be, like, down... What, here? It's time to prove it. Is Ottomans really moving up the ladder that much and HRE declining that swiftly? We hop into Boardland, try and prove it. In a series where Anatan is now leading, he is opted for Ottomans while sort of has got HRE on a sort of good map. We are in Boardland. Boardland is a pro scouts haven here. There is a ludicrous amount of deer on this map. In total, 34 deer. So that's, what, about almost 25% more than you get on a standard Dry Arabia small map, and the way they're spread out makes it very easy for Pro Scout Civ to thrive. HRE is a Pro Scout Civ, and a pretty decent one with a good Arkin play on a map like this against a Civ that doesn't Pro Scouts at all, really. I think we saw Ottoman Pro Scouts in the peak Pro Scout meta from a few players like B, but for the most, it just didn't latch on. So yeah, I'm wondering if Anatan's just going to go for a straight baller send it type play, or if you're going to try for some sort of greedy castle. If they didn't release the game half cooked, I wonder where it'd be right now. AoE 4? Exactly. Like, that's always been the thing, right? It's like, how big could AoE 4 have been if the release wasn't scuffed? Like, this is the problem right now. Like, nowadays, it's very hard for a game to rebuild itself towards success after a failed launch. Right? So, like, you know what a great example this is? How many people went back and played No Man's Sky? So, I had a friend who played it. He's like, the game is great now. I've heard, like, anyone who's played the game has said to me it's great now. But people didn't come in and buy it afterwards. The only reason that No Man's Sky kept, like, a lot of people coming back and then saying the game is great is because so many people bought into it at first. Right? So, they reached the economies of scale where, like, people reattach and they're like, okay, this is good. Right? And you've had other games that can do that, like Apex Legends, where Apex Legends had a huge footprint when it first came out, flopped a bit, but then started to recover it because you had so many people looking. So the challenge with AoE4 right now is you need to get more people in the door, more people looking. You need more entry content because RTS is just it is a dying genre. I'm sorry, but like anyone who just keeps trying to say it's not, that's a lie. It is. The problem with RTS is like they're in this very weird position where some people say they need to evolve, and some people say they need to stay more traditionalist, right? And they're actually both wrong. There is an element that needs to evolve, but also, like, the problem is, like, misunderstanding what the traditionalist stuff was that made RTSs great. The traditional thing that made RTSs latch on in the first place was not multiplayer at all. It was the single players. It was always the single players that attached people to the games. And then the leak-over effect was the multiplayer. There's a ginormous misunderstanding in RTS development in general, where people are pretty much just Call of Duty-ifying their development. Where they're so fixated on making their game a good multiplayer game, and also like making it esports ready, that they're set up to fail before they even release the game to the public. You know, like I think that's maybe AoE 4's like biggest gripe is like they didn't have replayability to their campaigns. So even if the game was in a sucky state, you couldn't keep people around to when it got good. KPM is a prime example. Prize money helped to raise quality of competition, growth, viewership, but it's steady and healthy growth. Exactly. Like when I started KPMM, my number one push is that we are not going to spend stupid money. We're not going to bankrupt ourselves, right? Am I making enough to pay all my bills off of like KPMM and content creation? Not really. We're not there yet. But like it was tolerable. But like, I mean, I think what a lot of people don't realize is like what Pesty done with EGC was a big gamble. Like, he made a really big gamble when AoE4 came out on that big tournament. And then he made a really big gamble on Stormgate. And I wouldn't say either one technically paid off. Like, I reckon if Pesty wanted to be transparent about it, I don't know his books, right? But I can speculate understanding, like, what I understand. I don't think he's turned a profit on his investment in AoE4. Now, obviously, a lot of the prize pool and whatever gets covered by, you know, by Microsoft. There's still costs outside of that. Actually, I guess like maybe with the prize pool contribution from Microsoft, he's turned a slight profit. But like if he had to tomorrow live off of it, I don't think that would be feasible. So, Sipahi opening. We are getting Pro Scouts as expected. Arkan Chapel is on a double tree line. Guys, if you see Arkan on this map, you're seeing Pro Scouts. Like, there's really no desirability behind Arkan with tiny tree lines like this unless you Pro Scouts. It's very rare that we see this without the PS. RTS required multitask skills are hard to learn and not practice in other genres. Yeah, exactly. So, like, that's exactly my point, right? You want single player, you want replayable content, you want content arcs that people can engage with and not feel overwhelmed. A competitive single player, not single player, but you know, 1v1 RTS doesn't do that. A competitive 1v1 RTS focus punishes people to the point that they leave and don't come back. And that is like a big gripe I've had with RTS development for the last several years. And I don't feel like I've seen many RTSs that have done a good job of... Because the thing is, like, what you need, you actually kind of need a mid to big budget for a good RTS to achieve what I'm talking about. All the big ones are just focused on making a perfect multiplayer. And all the small ones are trying to just make single players, and they don't actually have the budget to then make a multiplayer. Right? That's how warped it is. I'd love to be wrong about this, by the way. I mean, as a guy who like is heavily embedded in esports, it would be profitable for me to be wrong about this, but I'm pretty sure I'm not. Like, if you... I think Giant Grant Games had a fantastic video on this when he broke down the amount of people in, like, StarCraft that only played single player. It was ridiculous. Now, I know someone's going to come at me with, like, well, why do MOBAs succeed? The reason MOBAs succeed is because peer pressure. You just go play it with a bunch of people. Right? Like, it's very different than a sweaty 1v1. Very different. And also, I'd say, like, Dota is more complicated than this game, for example. But the way it's, like, complicated is more accessible to just pick up and do things, if that makes sense. Anyway, we have got Spam and Spam coming out from sort of. How did you do on the Pro Scout so far? Because I don't feel like we've seen too much deer pull. Oh, that's pretty bad. So there's 34 deer in total. He's only got 4 deer. That's really bad. I mean, he's got 5 scouts out. I would have expected more to be coming back off the flank deer by now. Actually, I guess it's not... Like, is it that bad? It's 7.5 minutes. Because Pro Scout's a little bit later. My worry about why it's bad is, like, Anatan already has a lot of Sipahi. And this is scary because you think Spearman just beats Sipahi, but surprisingly enough, if you pull the Imam boys with meta, Sipahi can contest Spearman quite well. Obnoxiously well. I'm wondering if Anno is going to steer into archers soon, though. he's just sending mass cav. Because here's the thing. The Spearmen, Marching Drill Spearmen are strong, but they can only be so many places. And you're seeing what's happening. Sort of. He's guarding the deer. So what does Anatan do? He steers into the economy away from the defenders. Yeah, and he just sees one Spearman. This is the dream. Like, oh, wow. Okay, is that your defense? We should have a second wave now building up. So the idea now, and this is where the game gets scary. If you have the micro and you have the capability of managing this, this is where the Sipahi get toxic in these situations. Because he can distract and pull Spearman home, and then the second group can harass the pro scouters. This is vicious, man. Thank you, Cammy. I appreciate that, man. Yeah, like, I mean, I've been quite transparent on this, right? Like, I haven't been making money to the point that I'm, like, profitable off of AoE4 after 4 years of doing it. Which is, I mean, probably makes me stupid, but... I don't know where it's going with this. Like, you know, for some people, it's easier to definitely stick with the game. Like, we've talked about, like, the Beasties, and I don't know about Dimmu, but, like, Marine Lord definitely with, like, the General Mates and the prize pools. Like, some people definitely can make a living off this. But I have to... I have, like, multiple jobs to make the bills met. Who's Pesty? He is the less delicious brother of Pesto. This might be a delicious moment. Sort of. He's trying to age against this many Sipahi? Ah, this is dangerous. This is really dangerous. Remember, guys, the melee and the attack speed options, like, they decrease your DPS by quite a lot here for the spears. AoE single player isn't replayable, though? It depends how well you make your game. If you give multiple ways of doing the maps, right? And challenges and leaderboards, like it can be. And the whole argument that most people haven't played all the way through the single player of AoE4, I think that's like a misread of data. Man, that's a horrible fight. You lose like, what, 4 or 5 Spearmen, get 1 Sipahi? It just shows you how good these guys are. It's because the second wave attacks over the first. But yeah, to the point that like 90% of players haven't played the single player, whatever it is, right? It's truly BS. Because like, even if that stat is true, that is, what is it called? I forget the name. Using stats to basically just try and prove your point. It's like, is it cognitive bias? Just because 90% of people haven't completed the single player doesn't mean that like single player isn't the solution. It just means the single player wasn't good enough. Right? That's like I can use it, spin it the other way. That like the issue is that the single player wasn't good enough. right? So, you know, you could have a stat, but like sometimes it's just the simplest solution, like the simplest answer isn't always the accurate one, right? Like, what's a good example of this, actually, now that I'm thinking about it? Like, maybe with smart cars that popular in the end? Like, smart cars failure rate, but, like, did people want them? Well, like, Tesla's kind of proved they did. I'm not exactly a one-to-one car style, but you get my point, right? There's perfect examples historically, like, of things that have failed, but it hasn't been because people didn't want them. Because they haven't, like, done it right or been there yet. Like, I'm still a big believer that the meta will inevitably fail. And Mark will, like, burn most of his capital doing it. But he isn't wrong. He's just too early. The concept of what he's trying to do with the VR and everything is right. Right? It's just he's too soon. The cost of being too soon is damning. This is looking pretty damning. We were waiting for it. Look at the switch up from Anno. The archer count now and sort of is still one hand in the cookie jar, man. Guys, this is like, I think this is actually kind of a masterclass on how to play Ottomans on open maps. It's just so smartly played. Sipahi is your equivalent to French knight scaling, really. Like, I think the way you look at Ottomans now in some of these matchups, you have to think of it exactly like the French, right? These are French knights, basically. If you bulk the same cost, like, they're pretty damn efficient for what they do, and it's because of the healing and the meta as well. Now, Anno wants to be a bit careful because he is missing that meta right now. Yeah, a lot of circulations without undermesh, plus the ranged armor. He's not that tanky underneath the TC. We'll just snipe him for a few worker kills, though. Second wave is arriving. Harassment is looking good as he does sweep through a few frontline troopers. Although he did lose a lot of the Sipahi, keep in mind that sort of only really has Spearmen left over. Nilly organized one tournament at the beginning, but went back to AoE 2. I mean, so, like, the problem is for Nilly is, like, he burned a lot of capital trying to make AoE 4 work, to be fair to him. Like, I love that guy, and he hard done everything he could. He still does everything he can, logically, to try and help AoE 4. So, really big shout to Nilly on that. Like, he's the reason we have KPMN. But, like, the other thing as well is there were other creators that actually really loved AoE 4. But the problem is, if your community doesn't love it, you're hamstrung, right? Like, I would love to, when Battlefield comes out, I'd love to be able to just non-stop spam some streams of that. Like, 2 days of the week. Because I love that Battlefield beta. The problem I have is most of you won't want to watch that. Most of you be like, this is not AoE. So, you know, when you're a content creator, you're kind of sometimes held victim to what your community wants. Until you're at a stage and a size where you can just say, to hell with it. And I've seen a lot of people do that, like Sing Sing. Great example of that. Sing Sing used to be like 9,000 people in Dota 2. One day he said, I'm sick of this. He started to mix it up. Went down to like 1.5, 2k CCV. But that's still enough to easily live off of. And here's the funny kicker for you guys. He said he made more money per month after that switch. But it's all about scales. And, well, sort of. Looking to scale up in the next stage. Regnet's coming through. I don't know, man. Like, this feels like a dive moment waiting to happen, though. 37 archers. Anno instead is going to back up, however. So I guess he's content that even if he backs away, he has the correct army to contest on the nage up. Which he's dead right about. You know, your opponent barely has any horsemen. His horseman's worse than yours anyway. You've got good map control. He's playing out onto the deer right now for the catch-up. And, I mean, there's still a decent amount of deer left on the map, really. I think close to half the deer still? Which shows you how difficult it's been for Sword Off to get it all home. I don't get why people bang on about single-player game modes when player base has demonstratively rejected single-player modes. Because when RTS has peaked, it was because of the single-player mode. Historical proof, right? Now, you could argue, like, that's history. It doesn't mean it's now. But, like, how many good examples have there been of, like, AAA single-player focused RTSs with replayability for that? There aren't many. Are there any? Because, like, here's your choice. You either follow the path of needing good single-player content, a lot of it, or your alternative is you dumb down RTSs. Because otherwise, how are you getting people through the door? I think mostly population bought the new DLC, not because of the new campaign, it was just because of the multiplayer. Well, sure, but that's like, that's kind of like building a whole town out in the middle of nowhere off of, like, drug dealing. And everyone's now addicted to cocaine. We go, well, this town functions because of the cocaine revenue. I was like, well, yeah, because that's literally all we do. So we got to a point where, like, what you were left with was just the multiplayer audience because the single player was not engaging enough to keep people coming back. Right? So it's like, it's what you're left with. So of course that, like, it strikes true. But if you want to reach a new audience, do you honestly think if you bring in, like, a bunch of players now into the sweaty single player, sweaty 1v1-ness of AoE 4, new players are not hanging around. This is where games have, like, an expiration. A very tricky one, actually. Because if you compare a bronze level player 3 years ago to now, they play so much better. And that makes it hard for new players to come in. It's a big part of why I chose AoE 4 over AoE 2. I think there's some things I found desirable about both. But one, AoE 2's content creator market was already saturated. But two, like, where to begin, you know? You just get whooped constantly if you haven't been playing it for years. Yeah. Who's going to get whooped here? This is what I'm wondering, because we've got what feels like way too many spearmen from Sword of. The Knights is a cool idea, but Anatan already spearing into crossbows. And guys, reminder, this is Regnitz in a game where he's been able to get one relic. I don't know if he gets more. Imam's already moving down. I mean, this is good position for Anatan to snatch away 3, if not 4 relics in this game. I think this has been a great example. I mean, like, I know we haven't, like, hyped it up, the raids, but it's because it's been very methodical, I think, in this game. Anatan's approach to this Sipahi shows you exactly why Ottomans have been rising through the rankings. He hasn't necessarily hit hard a lot, but the threat has always kept sort of a little bit inefficient. The idle time, the delayed return to pro scouts, and now the relic timings afterwards. It just feels suffocating in a game like this. And you know what's impressive, guys? He's doing this against HRE with marching drills. These spearmen are so fast, you wouldn't think it's possible like this. Good to know on the south side from Sword Off. The other thing that's now scary, and you're seeing it from Anno, Sword Off has over-calibrated into Cavalry Spear. That leaves him wide open now to Janissary. Archers are going to get caught by the Horseman wave. But they never got vetted. They're not that threatening. It's just the Knights. And the Knights, even the ranged armor too, because of the crossbow in which he can't reach, he's going to start losing the cavalry. Good block on the north side, keeping that relic out of the hands of HRE. Sort of cavalry is going to be going down. I mean, the farm count's not terrible, but not great either. And he just invested in the veterancy for Horseman. He actually calls it maybe a bit premature here, but you understand the nature of his situation. The berries were being exhausted. He couldn't access the remaining deer. Just a great overall game coming out from Anatan. And I think for anyone who's trying to learn how to play Sipahi with Ottomans, especially on a map that's a little bit more exposed, Himiyama, Prairie, etc., this is a great game to look at and understand that sometimes the threat of being able to kill is just as important as the kill itself. Is English underrated? Gully is over 2k elo with only English right now. Underrated, I think there's a more diversity than maybe is apparent. So slightly underrated, but not like critically underrated. We're not talking about them being like a top 5 Civ for sure. But the food, the farm buff, and the men at arms are just as good as they were. I say like English in my eyes is like it's been seen as a bottom 2, bottom 3 Civ. Probably more like 10th, 9th on the rankings of Civs. Maybe 11th. Maybe a little bit weaker. I'm more interested in the Dynasty than Crucible mode. That's because it's apparently obvious new content versus like subtly obvious new content, right? Or subtle content, new content. And also, like, you can envision what a new Civ would be like very clearly. You can't necessarily envision what the roguelike mode is going to be like. Does that make sense? Like, it's like, you know, you've been eating apples your whole life and you don't know what an orange tastes like, sort of thing. Not to say you haven't played, like, a single player experience. You get what I mean? Like, what you've been experiencing versus what you're going to get next, potentially. So, speaking of Gully, guys, I think... Did we have a look at Recon versus Gully? Because I think we've got Voldemar versus Scatterbrain in about half an hour. So I don't think we'll have enough time for the full series is the only thing. We could definitely get it started. Alternatively, we could spin up a little bit of B versus Elyona and see where time takes us. One sec. Just double checking communications and everything. So let's do a B versus Elio game. Yeah, let me pull up their draft. So I don't know, like, we'll see if we have enough time for the Beat Elio full series. But basically, guys, in half an hour-ish, we've got, I believe we've got Voldemar versus, in fact, I'm just going to bump them to make sure. We've got Voldemar versus Scatterbrain, which I think will be pretty fun. So, let me quickly grab the draft in the meantime for the B versus Elio. So map draft. And then Civ draft. B Elyona. Update stream title. And map 1 will of course be Carmel. Okay. Let's hop in. Oh, wow. Look. What an unexpected sight. Sushi versus Route on Carmel. I could not have predicted this with this map. Oh, wow. See, I swear, this map is just basically Rus, Sushi, China. In fairness, we have been seeing some Order of the Dragon, which has been quite refreshing. Looking really good. Thank you, thank you. I'm feeling relaxed, tanned a little, eager to get back to work. We've got a busy week. Black looks good on you. Probably a turtleneck even better. Dude, I think I wore a turtleneck like once to a family dinner when I was about 14. And you know what? I actually looked pretty damn good in it. Now that I think about it. Never bothered against since. I usually think I look pretty good in blue, actually. Gully is an experienced player who even competes in tournaments. Not the best example of what, like, English working across the board. It's, like, different, though. Right? Like, I think English situation can be decent, not crazy. But yeah, so this should just be pro scout and pro scouts, to be honest with you guys. Well, we might 2x a little bit at the start. I stand devs trying something new, and I hope it's a massive success, but nothing beats a good old campaign in Age of Empires. Agreed. Like, I really hope there's a campaign on top of the Crucible mode. Because I think, like I personally, I don't know, if you have Salt and Ascend and you didn't play the campaign, I think you missed out. I think the campaign they made for Salt and Ascend was such an underrated part of that DLC. It had so many refreshing different missions. It's worth playing now. Like, if you haven't, like, start the game, go play it now. I had an absolute blast playing through that campaign. Medigarden coming in, by the way. It's going to be a safe one at home. No gold, though. Yeah, just food and wood. This is overall a pretty meditation garden. But usually you don't want to run out into the middle of nowhere, because the problem here is, like, if you send 2 or 3 villagers to Medigarden here, and your opponent sees you, he can just block it out and ruin it entirely. Son's Ascend campaign is on the level of the best AoE2 ones. It's so good. Exactly. Like, don't get me wrong. It's not on Age of Mythology levels. All right? Not many games are. That's like Age of Mythology, Red Alert 2. Like, these type of games, they are godly. Beyond godly. Like, sorry, AoE2 fans are going to say it as well. I don't think even the AoE2 campaigns reach that level of quality. But being at, like, AoE2 primary campaigns is a really good sign. That's where a lot of the great RTS's campaigns sat. Like, Cossacks campaigns, for example. By the way, you guys are talking about like replayability not being there for single player. Cossacks is a great example. Cossacks, I remember there was so many different ways you could do a lot of the missions. You just kept playing them again and again. And also, by the way, they don't even need to do full campaigns. Just good scenarios. Like, that's the thing about the Sons Ascend campaign. It wasn't really a true campaign. It was just scenarios. I'd love to see them just regularly pumping out scenarios, maybe charging $1 or $2 per scenario for a mission made. I think people would gobble that up. Yona. What? Well, hold on a sec. B. We've got Chuk Nu. Yeah, it's Zug time. I wasn't sure if we were going to be getting this. It's still going to be Pro Scouts, but he's Zugging while Yona is trying to contest Pro Scouts with spears. Bad look for the Frenchman in game number 1. Especially if he doesn't realize it quickly. Yeah, I think the thing that impressed me is just how often the missions in Sons Ascend were very different in their objective and game mechanics. Like, do you guys remember the one where it was essentially you had waves of troops coming in and had to go capture points on the map? That was really different. I'm not going to say it was absolutely phenomenal, like best campaign mission I've ever played, but it was refreshing to have different things to do mission to mission. I respect that a lot. Like, really well-made RTS campaigns typically do that. Like, think Red Alert 2. You'd start with barely any units to start the campaign, and it's almost like it's a tutorial in a creative way. I personally hate these tutorials where it's the tutorial. I kind of like campaigns that are the tutorial a lot more. And Red Alert 2, like, I mean, Red Alert 2 did have a tutorial if you wanted it, but you could essentially learn the game by just playing the campaign. Mechanically, RA2 campaigns aren't that interesting. Exactly. It's the ridiculous, like, dialogue, the stories, the themes, and the new units you're being introduced to. Right? Like, so you want a perfect example of this? Go look at Portal. Portal is rated as one of the best games ever made. It is probably the best puzzle game ever created. Have you ever looked at how Portal plays? Portal shows you a mechanic, and then it lets you use that mechanic. It lets you figure out how that mechanic works, like putting a block on a button to open a door. And it shows you all the ways you can use that mechanic, and then when it's done doing that, it introduces a new mechanic. And then it lets you use the primary way of doing that mechanic, try the other ways, and then it involves the previous mechanic. Right? Like portals and then buttons. Or then you've got like, jump pads or whatever it's going to be. They just keep drip feeding you new features, and it's essentially, it almost, when you describe it like this, it almost sounds like they're cheapskates, right? They're like just trying to milk every way you can use it first. But it's very smart because it makes the player feel smart, and it makes the player feel like they can progress through the game in a logical way. The only thing I'd say that Portal was missing in the end is they needed a map editor where people could just make crazy maps instead. The rest of it was fantastic. Like, from what I can remember of AoE4's campaigns, I don't think AoE4's primary campaigns really had that, right, chat? I think they tended to bloat you fairly fast. Well, no, actually not entirely. I think they kind of tried. It's just very hard to do it to the truest extent of RTSs. Unless you have crazy asymmetrical development. Like, AoE4 has a lot of asymmetrical development, but not a lot compared to Red Alert 2, in my opinion. Knight's now coming in. Elyono, this is actually looking pretty good after all. The tech timing's pretty nice. Like, he's not too far behind Shushi. The Chuk Nu are now going to get clubbed down. He's got Knights v Knights. And remember, Roost Knights are decent, especially if you get towards Boys Fortitude. You have to be careful about the timing, though, right? Shushi, they've got the Mountain Academy down. And Regional Inspection is on the way in. Elyono. We'll be playing out into flanks for the additional deer. While the High Trade House, get your numbers in, is on a fresh tree line. He hasn't touched it at all. Portal 2 has amazing community maps. Exactly. And I think that's the big thing they learned from Portal 1 is like, damn, this is great. What's missing? Another thing that Portal 2 followed up on really well is the importance of dialogue, narrative, etc. and how valuable that is. Like, that was a great understanding by them, is that those things were important. It made it so much better. Like, Stephen Merchant, I will always say that Portal 2 is the performance of his career, and I don't think he'll exceed it. He made that game so much better with what he contributed. Okay, so, oh yeah, no, being forced back here to guard the flanks. Is B taking advantage of this to get relics, though? It doesn't look like it. High Trade House, 35 trees, not too bad. Bounty tier 2. So probably looking at like, what, 134, 148, somewhere in that range. There you go. So it's going to be 126, 127. That's decent. B's big tricky part here is going to be the way he's munching through gold. He started Chuk and then went Knights. That's a lot of gold everywhere. But now he's rushing into the monks. We do have regional inspection, but he's not using it to get the monks out quicker. No. And he doesn't really have much backlog in terms of knight count either. That's kind of weird about regional inspection when you use it like this. Like, you're just not even close to constant pumping units in any form. There aren't insane units really to drip feed in. Exactly. That's the thing. Like, AoE4 is more tame, so they didn't have that magical, look at this crazy unit. And sadly, the problem is when you make a game like Age of Empires, you also kind of anchor yourself to how crazy you can be by historical accuracy. But I think there would have been ways. I think you just focus more around sieges and crap like that. Like, dude, I still place back some of the old Stronghold 1 and Stronghold Crusader campaigns. Those sieges were epic. Yeah, 127 in the end. Elyono, he's pretty far behind on Knights, though. Yeah, this is the craziness of regional inspection. The ramp timing is nuts. 15 compared to the 8. And reminder, Elyono was able to start producing Knights earlier. He can build them in age 2. Shushi had to get age 3. The Spearmen are going to be a problem, only if they bulk up. And I think the concern there is because B is going Chuk, very difficult to do. I think this has been a big part of what started to make Shushi look really, really dominant on this map. The only matchup that I've seen where they can usually struggle a bit is like China. China can be rough for them. Well, I could do an AoE campaign to give you ways to unlock things you get to use in future missions. Yeah, like, I mean, it's tricky making your experience A different from experience B. Like, you see it with the Command and Conquer successor. I've forgotten its name now, that released this year. Like, they had to have these perk systems for multiplayer because they had it in single player to keep it quirky and different. So they couldn't strip it away. Because, like, the other thing where AoE4 was ridiculous is in the campaign, you had things like, do you guys remember... You had the blacksmiths, and then you had the arsenal. And the arsenal doesn't exist in multiplayer. It was removed in early development, but they left it in the campaign. So you don't even have an accurate representation of experiences. I'd like to see more population. I wouldn't. I think AoE4 has a very big problem with the quality of game as you scale your army too big. And also, the problem is when you add more population, you think you get bigger epic fights. But the problem is how long it takes to get to that is a very big drag. So I'm not personally that crazy about just having more population than we already have. I think the population count is fine. I think one big thing I've said before is I'd love to see just a speed mode. Like, we never had a truly accurate simulator for like 1.5 or 1.6x speed to see what it'd be like. Because some of the systems are hard lock. I'd love to see what that would be like. Because, I mean, you guys have seen me casting 2x games before. It's pretty cool. It can be hard for you guys to follow, which is why I really wish there was a 1.5x speed. Gold cap in the center. B, this is a really strong play right now. Elyona, I'm worried he's just not getting anything here. He's got way too much food, not enough gold. He didn't win the relic game. He completely lost it. He hasn't got the 8k gold. Like, I can't see anything that's gone well for Elyona in the last 2 minutes. And he'll look for a strike here. But this is the value of the village on the front line. I love that. Outpost plus the village keeps 18 workers safe. Army may be a little bit exposed, but not for long. Reinforcements now rallying. Warlord's going to come out. B. He actually sacked quite a lot of his lancers. Wait, what? Wait, what? How? Oh my god. What? They went down so fast. Are you kidding me? Elyona, despite the crazy miss macro, hits him hard. Damn, that was a sick engage. I mean, the Knights, they never got healed, right? So many of them just flopped dead straight away. Reminder that, like, what, 2 minutes ago, 3 minutes ago, we were talking about, like, B having a ridiculous Knight lead. Elyona, props to him, man. He timed this perfectly. I said I couldn't see anything looking up for him, but he finds the fight to give him everything. Chasing them all the way home now, B. He might have the relics, but he now doesn't have reliable gold access outside of that trickle. That trickle might not be enough. No, not against this many knights. 23 in total. Without Boy's Fortitude even, this isn't even as good as they get. Elyona now with the dive. A lot of out of time being achieved here. And these are not crossbowmen. The repeater bows, they do nothing against the knights. Nice, which this is the craziest part to me of all this. Would you like to look at the blacksmith text for Elyona? No undermesh, no melee, nothing. It's a naked game for the knights, and yet they are destroying me. Workers still running around like headless chickens. Second wave is building on the south side, which is just pretty much scurrying them towards them. The GG comes in, and B has to throw in the towel. Elyona, phenomenally well done. I cannot believe just how quickly he was able to turn that into an advantageous position. I thought B would just have the time to get the gold under control and just mass up again. But that Knight Spear Mass, guys, melee be popping these days. That was impressive. So let's mark up a game. Elio. We'll have enough time for at least one more, so don't know if it's going to be 2-0. If it's not, we'll come back to this one. Game 2, though. Borderland. French versus Mali. Alright, let's hop into it. How was Greece? Greece was good. I had a good time with it. Some R&R that was needed. Now we're full back in swing. You are seeing that correctly. B is at risk of elimination in the round of 16. Elyona, ridiculous game 1, man. Mind-boggling just how quickly he took control of that game. I was not expecting that. We now hop into Borderland to see if B can strike back. Malians versus French. And that is not a great Malian spawn. Oh dear, oh dear. And no, I have not looked at this new mod overlay. I just got home literally late last night. I haven't had time to catch up on any of that stuff. We just basically went to see my mum so she could spend some time with Ezra because it was his birthday on Monday. And then we hopped online. Damn, this is kind of rough actually for B. Does he maybe have to Saharan trade network just to protect the gold? Like maybe here? That's actually not a bad choice. Protects double gold. And it is 4Ks. French on the other side. Elyona, pretty good spawn. A lot of berries in the back. Gold there is usual. And then obviously the deer are always static. I don't expect B to do pro scouts here. I feel like he's been a guy desperately seeking something other than pro scouts for a while anyway. So I would be shocked if he goes towards it. We're just going to 4x to get into the feudal though. Manticore now coming through. Oh, yo, it is going to be standard School of Cavalry reaction. Wonder why he didn't want to Manticore. I guess the problem here with Knights is, like, they're not that good at burning down pit mines. They're actually terrible. It's a third as effective as just spear spamming into these things. So probably for that reason, he doesn't feel like he needs to guard it at all. Has he scouted out? He knows where the extra gold veins are, so he knows where to play towards. And gold isn't being held, guys, so it's not going to be pro scouts. It's going to be ranch focus. Normally, when you play Malians, you feel a necessity to start scaling into your ranches anyway, because if you don't do so, then you just fall behind French. Remember, French build more villages as the game goes on. It only takes them 17 seconds to produce, as opposed to a standard 20. So yeah, it just puts you in an urgent position when you play as Mali, where if you don't add in cattle, you will inevitably fall behind. Like right now, you're pretty competitive because you have Pit Mine plus Mansa, which is giving you over 150 extra gold. So like you're actually beating the French economy, really. Looks like Eliona is going to be doing standardized play. So it's going to be Pro Scout survival techniques. So we've got Pro Scout versus... This is going to be like Fast Castle? No. No. B is investing. He's going for aggro. I actually love that we're seeing more Sofa, by the way. I think the Sofa have been popping recently, right? Like, has anyone else been shocked at just how good the Sofa have been? That 2 damage, that little bit of extra health made such a world of difference. I think it makes the Sofa not just better at trading, a little bit harder to lose. So you almost feel like you'll eventually get the payback of playing into the castle. We do have extra Warrior Scouts, by the way. But this is not Pro Scout still. No, so I think it's just Warrior Scouts to harass Scouts, which is pretty smart. Think of these guys as just like spearmen in these situations. Like, this is not a trade you're ever going to win. It's 17 damage compared to 11 per strike. And reminder, Warrior Scouts are faster than you. They heal faster. It's just a lose-lose situation. It's a great denial at the start. A few deer have made it home. Spearman follow-up as well. Eliona does something pretty cool. He goes Spearman. Yeah, it's because when you're playing against Mali, you never expect archers. But you do have to be a bit careful with this kind of design strat, because what it does do is it encourages archer play, which is actually a good thing for Mali. Mali ideally want to be Sofa archers in most matchups when they test. And wait, did I say thank you to White Candy for the sub? Apologies if I didn't. Thank you very much, mate. Sorry, my brain has been catching up at the moment. Thank you. Appreciate all the subs coming through. Reminder, guys, it's absolutely worth subbing now because Twitch, I can't believe it, they added a useful feature. Yeah, not so good, but what they did do is they added in something pretty cool. You can now rewind on Twitch, so highly recommend subbing. So you can actually rewind and check out earlier parts of the stream. Props to them for that, man. I feel like that was a long time coming. Glad they finally done it. Okay, so the Sofa are starting to scale. Behind this, Fulani isn't really going to be rushed in. Like, the cattle count is pretty low, actually. I started to wonder for a second if he was considering Pro Scouts, but... Sofa makes a lot of sense. Like, you know, the cool thing about Sofa here is they're quicker than Knights. So if the fight just looks bad, you just don't commit. If the fight looks good, you overwhelm. And then, eventually, you're going to tech up anyway, so then the fight's going to be incredible. Elio. This happened last game. He missed macros feed quite a lot. It could be he's just keeping it in reserve for a surge, but I feel like it's not that at all. I almost feel like it's maybe just not respecting how good Pro Scouts is, how good deer gathering rates is. Like, you just kind of forget it sometimes. Maybe instead he's going to turn this into a castle play, but I'm not sure if it's intentional. The way he's reinvesting gold, it doesn't seem like castle was the intent. So yeah, it might just benefit from pulling a few extra workers over to gold, funnily enough. In last game, what was it? I think he had so much food at one point as Roos, I thought he was going to go Imperial. No cap. Like, it genuinely looked like he was trying to get to age 4. It was very weird. he have enough spears coming through? No, he kind of slowed down, actually. Still, so far, the cool thing is you're able to actively raid with them, right? And they're still going to be decent against the French Knights. Not great. You know, when you look at the damage difference, it's pretty rough. But when you think about the cost difference, it's not that terrible of an exchange. Now, 160 health, 17 damage compared to 119 and 19. Yes, the Lancer's charge, it charge in is much stronger, but that's a one hit. And then you got the buff afterwards. Realistically, like on average in a long fight, you're going to do about 20 damage, maybe 21. You have one more armor, you have 30 more HP. And that would give you like an extra 4 damage as well. But the cost difference is that sofas are only 2/3 of what a knight costs. So it does balance out quite nicely. Like ever since that change where they buffed the health and damage, it's put sofas at a point where economically they make sense. Another thing is movement speed, right? Like if you get into a melee fight with good micro, the sofa can just pull away. They can also chase to stop the raw bloodline, the chivalry rather. Not easy, sure, but like it gives you micro expression in this matchup now that I think wasn't cost effective before. Okay, so who's winning this? I think B's kind of happy with where this is going. Like going into Sofa plus Archers, we talked about this being the dream. Elyona's comp seems more designed towards a win in Feudal Age. And Sofa now with a raid! Big hit! Doesn't move them quickly though, so the villagers do break out. Okay, so it ends up being 3. That could have easily turned into 5, 6, 7. But there was a small gap the villagers weaved through. We'll minimize the losses somewhat. Elyona needs a response. Army is edging into the base now. B able to pull away though and has the Donzos in a choke point to guard. Reminder, this is not an archer knight mass from French like you normally see, which means they have no quick solution to Donzo's defending. I mean, this is why B felt so content, so comfortable with the idea of going all the way across the map with his Sofa. Normally, this is the type of play that screws you over because, you know, if your opponent's army is in position, he has double the force to kill the defenders, and then you arrive too late. But there's no archers. It doesn't play like it normally would for French. Why, although it's creative for Elyona, I think B's reaction has just been perfect here. Cow count is looking bloody good. Up to 11 now. Not far for that age up. That chip kill on the eco count like he's competing. New overlay, why not using? Because I haven't had a chance to update whatever this new overlay is. I haven't even seen it yet. Reminder, we literally just got back. So the choice was saw that overlay and not have a stream. Or have a stream. Which do you prefer? I'll turn this stream off right damn now. I'll do it. Man, these melee comps, this is a second game. Last time it won in the game, but I think this is very different. B's army is a lot more stoic. It's not as flimsy. Donzos. She's going to be fording. They got the melee armor to make them a bit more tanky against spears. Maybe a swamp, an overwhelm. Elyona. Where's the rest of the army? Sofa's the chasing 2 knights. Oh my god. Could he break him here? A 2-0 would be a huge upset in the KPMMs. Elyona. It feels like he's discombobulated a bit though. The knight's not as efficient on the attacks anymore. And the outpost fire with the TC enough to push him away. Not just that, was B raiding? No, just a little bit of poke harass, nothing big. And oh my god, no, it's just Elyona didn't realize he's idle. So despite what could have been a great fight because of the idle time, it's not. Elyona was idled out just as long with his villagers, with 15. So there's no economical advantage from that dive. Militarily, debatable. The spears have been mostly wiped out. B has admittedly got way too many archers now for how many spears there are. Would benefit from remassing Donzos. Archers. I'll probably have to be sacked here. Yeah, I don't think B can defend these at all, so that's going to be a heavy loss, actually. I think it's about recommitment. He just needs more Donzos. He needs time. Cow count at 12. I mean, it enables you on the food to pump out Donzos, but I'm starting to think the production is not there. Yeah, he's got 1 Rax. Second one back here, really far out. I think B just needs to slow down a little bit. You know, he got what looked like a fairly decent exchange, and this is the frustration, man. Like, Longbow's Knights, rather, the problem here is these long fights afterwards, it's healing you're worried about. So the reason why B rushed out urgently when he probably shouldn't have is if he didn't, he's worried they're all going to heal up. If only he knew that Elyona doesn't have Chivalry. You heard me correctly, folks. Look at those health bars. No Chivalry for that. That's a big deal. I mean, health bar wise, we're talking about, what, 6 Knights of extra health? A lot to miss out on. Oh, the overlay requires a mod for the players to have? Yeah, that's going to be a problem then. Like, this is... Do you know how hard it is to... Do you know how many problems we've had where people were not using EGC Dry Arabia? Dog, getting people on board with those things is hard. So for raid, it's getting blocked out. Elyona first attack up. B is going to be a bit delayed. Yeah. And Elio, he did go for the Royal Institute. This is a big boon, but he needs the gold. He only has Chivalry coming through now. He doesn't have the Veterancy queued. It's finally there. Royal Bloodlines is quite a way off, though. Yeah, and then Raw Donzo spam now from B. He understands. I think he got eyeballs on. He saw the Royal Institute, so he knows what he's up against here. If this was a guild hall, you'd probably be rushing Age up, but because it's Royal Institute, you have to respect the threat. Oh, Jesus Christ. The time for Voldemort Scatterbrain has moved. Okay, so they're playing in an hour. Huh? I think Elyona is just having a lot of time wasted, no? I mean, you kind of want to wait for Royal Institute's Bloodlines to come through, and you have got Chivalry healing in the meantime. But normally when you have an age advantage, you kind of want to be up in your opponent's face. He seems quite threatened that B would be attacking him. I mean, this is the true value of Sofa, guys. You know, Sofa, Sapahi, I think we've been in an Archer meta for a while, but now we're kind of seeing... I feel like we're seeing Cavalry kind of taking over. Definitely feeling dominant. Grand Fulani now on the way for B. I mean, Beastie's stepped away from competitive because it wasn't healthy for him, right? From what he said on stream. And you shouldn't do stuff that's, like, unhealthy for you, right? Like, you know, although there were upsides to when I streamed 8 hours while working a 9 to 5, there's also big downsides that I literally had no social life. Almost lost my relationship of well over 10 years. Didn't have any job prospects, hated life, blah, 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 right? But like, hey, I was streaming and it led to other things. But like, you know, you have to balance out the good and the bad as well, say. And if he can't like handle competitive without it being unhealthy for him, then he shouldn't do it until it is. See? So far? They're so slippery, man. They're not even vetted yet. But they're about to be. And now they hit a lot harder with no textiles there. Elyona's going to start hemorrhaging. Against Fulani, something absolutely can't afford. And now the counteroffensive. This has been the moment he's waiting for. Last time he wasn't able to dent it. But this time he's got Royal Bloodlines. B backs up. Donzos are pretty spooky at this stage. This many of them. 30 Donzos to defend. Elyona? Wait, did he clear the... Oh my god. He killed all the Sofa. All of them are gone. There's no backup ones. So, you know, Elyona, I mean, he doesn't have to worry about being raided, but I'm a bit concerned that we're spending way too much time running away and not enough time going in here. The poison arrows complete? They're not. So Alyona runs all the way back. He gets an open field battle. This is the time to fight. Like, this is it. Your opponent can't use choke points against you. You can swarm. And he knows it. He commits in. B starts to back up. Now the Donzos. A bit overwhelmed. Takes a stab at it. The archers still not having the poison arrows. Aren't contributing realistically anything here. And the Donzo wave looks to be struggling. Yeah, the knights, they're breaking through on the south side. Only a handful of spears remaining. Alyona needed a big win. Can this be it? 25 knights left standing. Practically all of the main Malian army is going to be dead after this. He needs to find a way of striking in. They're neck and neck on villager count, which means he's losing against Fulani. A win in a fight is not enough. He needs to turn it into eco kills. Yeah, and I think Alyona's eco might be struggling. We knew he's on berries already, but he's queuing up men at arms, which feels like an odd choice here. I mean, against the Donzos he saw, sure, but against the Sofa, men at arms are going to suck. I'm assuming that's a misclick because W is knights on a stables, but it's also men at arms on Iraqs, right? So I think that was just a misclick. This is shaky though. The only concern I have here is like Alyona is now in a rush position and he has a lot of injured knights. He hasn't pulled away the injured to heal. So he's got half HP knights diving into a base right now and you're starting to see them flop dead. Look at the blue bodies here. I mean, this is the weird thing about Royal Bloodlines, man. Like, it baits you sometimes. It's great for the first fight. But then if you need to immediately dive, look at the damage! Steeled Arrow 2. To match out against the Undermesh with this many outposts, it's doing everything it needs to. Bodies hit the floor. Alyona, only 10 knights left alive. And nothing gained for her. I cannot believe that. That's brutal. Elio, that was meant to be his break point, but I mean, the problem here is it's still Donzos that are fairly tanky. They have more effective HP than standard spears. And the outpost fires, man. You know, we're talking about arrow slits on like everything here. Full garrison, TC as well. Definitely adds up when you just haven't healed up after a fight. But still, at this point, it just kind of feels like Elio, what he needed was a sneak in onto the workers. Instead, he went for the Fulani dive, which pretty much just kept him in a melee with no eco upside. And now it feels like there's no upside left, man. He's down to 9 knights. B has clear military lead. The economy is just in shambles, man. Alyona having to run north and south now for berries. I can't believe that, man. The health on them. Like, you think Royal Bloodlines wins you games, but this is like the clear example that you show someone for why you go Guildhall, right? Like, the idea was cool from Elio, but the outcome brutal, and now the aftermath. He just lost double the villages he's lost in this game so far. This is borderline over. I think fundamentally the problem with Royal Bloodlines is it gives you no economical upside other than saving on some tax. And what it does in these situations is after a big fight, when everyone's injured, he's against Fulani. He needed to go. He couldn't just go home, right? If this was a game where he didn't lose those 10 workers early on, I think you can just kind of slow the game down, heal up, and go again. But because he never done any economical damage in return, he had to continue on. Royal Bloodlines Chivalry Knights in Castle don't play very well fight to fight to fight, because they eventually just start dying. What you want is one big fight, you micro away the injured, you heal them up, and then 3 minutes later you fight again. But Alyona, this is the thing that makes Malians pretty nice against French, is the A-clicks. When you just get A-click fights, over time you drain your opponent. Your goal isn't to have units alive at the end of the fight. Your goal is to keep bodying until they've got nothing left. Alyona will at least get a win in this clash. B now with a 14 worker lead. He doesn't need a definitive win engagement. He just needs messy fights after messy fights. And yo, what's up, Sing? Thank you very much, mate. Appreciate the super chat coming in. Is that 40? Is it rupees? I think that's the rupee sign, right? Appreciate the 40 rupees. Nah, man. I'm trying to think how Elyona gets back in this now. I mean, Arbor the Trio can be a good answer. The problem is, at this point in the game, look at how Elyona's playing. Look at his vision on the map. He's everywhere. Arbor the Trio can't defend everywhere. They can barely defend in one location at this point. This is brutal. You think 30 eco kills is rough? Wait until you see 40. It's just... He's getting stripped back, right? We're seeing more and more Sofa. It's a return to what really set this off in the first place. And Sofa just feel like such a game changer now. The way they got opts completely flipped the script. Like, their presence in Feudal was felt. Their presence in Castle has always been known. And you're seeing it now. Elyona, even with 50 knights, he doesn't even try to sneak in. This is the worst type of position to put yourself in, where you just have to defensively react to Sofa raids. You know, you're already down. You need to actually be killing. Instead, you're just losing workers again. Sofa goes south. It's going to be at least, what, -3, I'd say? Especially because Elyona, like, there's no way you micro away. These guys are too fast. Oh my god, he pulls more workers off the build. Like, this is not even going up. It's more than -3. That's going to be -5. He's just too distracted. Sofa still poking towards the big gold. 41 to 1 worker kills. Sofa truly are the Malian unit you need to be building in Feudal Age. What a game changer. I mean, they're doing the obvious thing now, but I think really what they've done in the Feudal Age is what mattered even more. French never felt like they had a position to have an edge. And as is all too often the case, we see how Fulani versus Royal Institute can put you in the blender. A blender that you never have enough time to recover to truly use those Royal Bloodline Knights. That one might be uploadable. It's kind of interesting, actually, as a... Like, the Malian unit you should build in Feudal. It's a pretty good title. I saw the message, Emma, and you're a pain in the ass. Chat, we might only have like an hour and a half more. Bro. Emma, why are you doing this to us? Huh, Emma? Why? So we might not even have time? SMH. All right, final game between these two is going to be Otto versus Delhi. I'm outraged. Yeah, like so like, I'm gonna shame Emma on this. So like I'm getting ready to go for stream, and she's like, "Oh, I've got netball tonight." I'm like, "You knew I was planning this the whole time." Oh, I can't cancel on them. Yes, you can. Oh, Emil. It's easy. That's not the food's ready. And yo, what's up, Sing? Thank you very much. Welcome to the Bird Fam, mate. Appreciate you. You knew. You knew we were going to do it. All right, so 1-1 score. Deciding game. You guys ready? Let's hop to. I just realized I've been saying this is BO5. BO3. This is BO3. I'm just like, I'm outraged. I feel scammed. Oh, dear, dear. Okay. Yeah, we were set up. Nice. So I've got a little teaser to reveal. This is actually kind of like low-key one of my favorite matchups in Age of Empires 4. Delhi versus Ottomans. It's definitely not because at the absolute prestigious highest level, Ottomans should take a dump on Delhi. Right? Okay, yeah. Is it fair to be a Delhi hater these days? I don't know, man. It's something about a War Elephant coming out and ruining the entire game that I just find vulgar. In fairness, these days, I don't know if Ottomans is as good as they were. Ottoman Delhi used to be a long feudal, and in a long feudal, guys, Ottomans is really solid against Delhi. The Sipahi scale to match out and beat the Ghazi, and then you have meta, healing, like it lets you win, right? But nowadays, we're finding Delhi slithering the way into castle a little bit more consistently, and that opens up the door for things like War Elephants. And I think that's where Otto's, maybe it gets a bit harder. Let's see what they got in mind. Game number 3. Reminder, this series began with Elyona getting an impressive opening game win. One that I don't think anyone really saw coming to get ahead in this best of 3. B, battering his way back into it. In Delhi, despite what I say about like Ottomans, I say it's like 55-45 if you play long feudal. If you play it really well, it's higher. The problem is, not many players have been able to play it that well. Even at like this level of play, where you're talking about the best players in the game, it's very hard to execute Ottomans perfectly. But the idea, the theory at least, is if you both execute rather perfectly, then Ottomans should be slightly favored. Also, new roguelike. Looking forward to it. Might even do some streams of it. Honestly, I think it's like the type of thing that the game's going to benefit from having. We need to experiment with more things. I think the failure of Empire Wars shouldn't be treated as a we shouldn't do anything different. We should. We should always be looking to find new, better solutions, right? Not just scared that, oh my god, it's never going to work, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I hope that we see it bring in a new community of people. And I hope that there's things set up around it that allow it to succeed, such as, you know, leaderboards, etc. I do think that they missed big time not having a co-op mode, though. That was, in my eyes, a very easily avoidable mistake. Okay, so wait. Doma Faith and probably Madrissa, right? Elio did go for the Spearman opening via military school. This is fine. I think it makes a lot of sense against Delhi. It just gives you the initial units to slow down them rushing out towards sacred sites. And also, you know your opponent wants to build Ghazi anyway. So it's just like a pace checker. Because the nice thing here is like opening spears for free like this. Yeah, you could encourage archers, but who wants to build archers against Ottomans? Right? Like that's not a recipe for success, guys. That's how you end up getting clubbed out by Sipahi. And what's the sheep hall looking like? 17 sheep for Elyona. B only got 8? Okay, that's tragic. That's pretty tragic, man. 8 sheep. Reminder, by the way, this is the civ that doesn't need its scout to come home. B just got completely slapped out on the sheep count. That's a disastrous beginning for the Delhi. Empire Wars had a specific cause for hostility. People feared it would be forced on them in tournaments. Yeah, I mean, like, people, I think, read into it a bit much there, really. But, like, even if Red Bull, like, had wanted that, my counterpoint is that, you know, tournaments will do what they think is right for them, and they'll experiment with things. And I think I've talked about this before. It's not bad to have different formattings experimented with. Like, sometimes I do think there's this naive belief that we just got it perfectly right to begin with in how AoE4 functions in the 1v1, right? Is it the best form we've had? Yes. Is it the perfect form? We don't know that, right? It's like, I'm actually a big fan of tournaments experimenting with different things. 12 villager starts. I think the 12 villager start was refreshing. Like, we were talking earlier about having a 2.5x, 1.5x speed multiplier game mode, right? That would be refreshing to see. Am I saying it's outright going to be better? No. Could it be better though? Yes. And I don't think that. I think that sometimes people are quick to shame things before they even get tested. Yo, I'm not going to shame him though. What is up, Lash? Thank you very much, mate. Appreciate the raid. Welcome back, one and all. We've returned refreshed from holiday. I did indeed have a good time on an island in Greece for a week with the family. And now we're back deep into the AoE4 action. Got games to cover today. We've got tomorrow's finals Thursday. We'll take a day's break on Friday, and then we'll be back into full swing 4 days a week, starting next week. So, Elio, Sapai switch now coming through. He's already baited his opponent into the Ghazi, as you'd like to see. We talked about like Ghazi versus Sapahi. If you keep similar scaling in terms of resource investment, Sapahi can run that one out of town. You have to be very careful in the retreats, though. If you split your Sapahi up too much, that's where Ghazi can win, because they're quickest. They can run you down and club you down. Line pick 5 6 in order at the start of the tournament, which are locked in for the full bracket. Mirrors are allowed. See, I don't know. Like, personally, my take is I've had enough mirrors in the history of AV4 that I don't think I want them again. I think mirrors is just very boring, personally, anyway. But there's definitely something to be had if, like, you know what's really cool? Do you guys ever watch Apex Legends? Apex Legends has like these fabricators. You can use these points you accrue to build guns and stuff. And certain attachments will only spawn by you building them there. But it changes every day, right? And some of the options in that shop change every week. Now, what I'm getting at is, like, imagine if on a certain day in a tournament, a Civ was banned by default. That's kind of intriguing. A little bit wacky, yes, but very intriguing. Or, like, think about what we do. Every single week, we have a default map. A different default map. Personally, I think that's a really cool twist. I think that's quite a refreshing twist than just having your standard you draft and then you have, like, this randomized map of what was left at the end. I'm not liking the start of this for Elyona, by the way. I think he's just trying to rush out a bit too soon. And now, because you take this damage on Sapahi, it actually slows your timing. Right? Because if you rush out now, you just get whomped down and -2 Sapahi. Has got the meta, though. Melee armor critical to success here. B, scaling up a lot of scholars. But this is the norm, right? You always want to be non-stop producing with Dome of Faith, it feels like. Up to at least like 15 or 16. I just don't think Elyona is respecting this right now. B, it just feels like he's getting a lot of freebies. His micro is a lot better here. That's 2 almost dead Sapahi. Ghazi barely been touched. Elyona, now with the meta, I mean, he's bringing the spears out so quickly as well, which is slowing him down. But the good thing for him is, like, anchoring south side's pretty nice here because of the spawn. Double Sacred Site was tight on the south side. There's one far out. Now, remember what we said. The thing that Elyona wants to be a bit careful of is splitting his Sapahi up too much. Because if he sends a few up north to guard, and B reads it, he can just send all Ghazi up there to get the kills. Right, and those tiny leads matter a lot here, because Sapahi versus Ghazi, like we said, when you fully invest both, Sapahi can contest well, but they do have their negatives, and as we just highlighted, that's how they can get caught out when they're not together. Yeah, Sapahi truly are a unit that benefits more than any other light cav in the game from scaling comp. When you get to 20 of any other light cav, like, they swarm, but they have an issue of, like, their efficiency on DPS isn't as good because they run past each other. But the cool thing about Sapahi is with the extra melee range, they're able to flood in and attack a lot quicker than other light cav can. That small advantage of 1 or 2 extra strikes at the start of a fight tends to ripple effect into wins. And B, man, he got baited. He's going archers for really no reason here. No, he saw 2 or 3 spearmen, and that's his reason, right? But, like, what I mean by that, they haven't even been hardened. They're Dark Age spearmen. There's no investment from Elyona. Elyona is being a bit greedy, though, holding a lot of food in reserve. So maybe considering Castle. I think he's worried that B's thinking the same, but I'm not sure you should be that worried about Castle Age from Delhi when they don't have any Sacred Sites. It's pretty rare that Delhi will try to rush Castle without Sacred Sites. Just like no gold gain, it just feels very expensive. We're going to sneak around the back. Tricky for B. He just moved out to these berries. It's definitely going to be a burn through, so B will have to rally all troops back home. Still melee armor. Would be nice to kind of have that ranged armor if you're going to look for a dive soon. Another awkward thing for B right now is like pro scouts. Okay, yeah, he's getting out for you. There we go. Because the problem here is like all the deer almost are north side bar one. So Elyona's got the right idea of like anchoring north side. It's just really frustrating because like technically it should open up the sacred sites for B on the south. Weirdly enough, not happening so far. There's the healing. He reveals it. B. Well, this will be why he was skilling archers. I think he knew this was coming. Like B, remember, he's a bit of an Ottoman aficionado himself. He's played a crap ton of it. And he knows that that Imam point is how you win this. Emphatically as Ottomans. So by having probably about like 15 archers, 16 archers, it gets you to a point where the Imams aren't safe. If they're involved in the fight, they just die. Props to him. Pretty good read. Alyona just gonna, he's going to choose age. Okay. He's posturing pretty aggressively, though. I wouldn't say his army is a GG, however. Only 16 guards is kind of underwhelming. I'd give Alyona the clear win right now if you had to call it. Like, it's not 80% he'd win sort of thing, but if you had to favor someone's position, it's definitely Alyona. He's done a great job here, right? Locking out Sacred Site control. Avoiding worker losses. Food is my one concern for Alyona. He went for the sheep point, right? Yeah. But the sheep, there's only 7 of them left. I think what Alyona done really well in this game is leveraging the early sheep play to try and overwhelm his opponent. Reminder, this game, when they were both teching feudal, B had 6 sheep, while Alyona had about 17. While being the civ that would eat the sheep straight away. Because remember, Delhi, they just eat berries. So it shows you the difference a sheep makes, right? Like, you know, we've talked about sheep game in the past and how I'm not a big fan of it. I still hold stoic to that belief that I think the sheep game RNG is a big problem maybe for. And this could be the type of game where you just kind of use as a perfect example. You know, B hasn't really been able to be oppressive with the Delhi at all. He done a great job of slowing down the supply at the beginning, and he won the micro there. But even winning that micro, you just see him behind here. Guys, we could have a big upset. It really feels like it's going that way. B's not too far from an age up himself, but he needs some worker kills for this. Whoa, 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 whoa. Calm down. Get back. Elyo, he may have pulled a little bit late there. Ungarrisons, but the body blocks are in. And oh my god, he just charges past for the gold. What a read, B. Getting these kills will be everything to him. So far, it's only going to be 2, though. And the Men-at-Arms are going to chase him away. Okay, so B, it's not a lot of worker kills. However, he's got the entire enemy army back at their base. Gives him the breathing room for House of Learning. Scholars have not been pulled into position for the remaining relics. So Alyona takes a slight hit there. Does get bamboozled. He doesn't have his army in a position to now counterattack straight away. And also, B has got a lot of scholars to try and research veterancies. There is another concern here, folks. Because B just got the freedom to go castle without any pressure on his base, what do you guys think he's going to save up for first? What is the most obvious thing you can do from here to stop Alyona punishing you? Or elephants. Elyona's entire army loses to elephants. And you don't need many of them. 1 or 2 is usually good enough here. There's 1. I called it at the start. They're like the most toxic goddamn unit in the game. Janissaries counter elephants, yes, but you don't build Janissaries this early, normally. Janissaries are terrible for attacking because they're so slow to arrive. You tend to flesh out your cavalry count, if anything. And he goes to the stables. He knows. Alyona knows. Oh my god, oh my god. 2 seconds. 1 second, the villager repair! He gets it out! The war elephant! Less than a second! Comes out to save the day! Unbelievable! The clutch villager repair from B to get that 1 ejection to eject Alyona from his base. What? unbelievable play there out of B. Now, he's still behind on relics, but he gets a huge stay of execution. He only had one other stables behind that. And I mean, considering the lack of raw spears to counter this many Stapahi, Elyono could have easily then dove past, taken out the other stables, and then just completely starved him out of elephant fun time. 4-1 relic split. Elyono now walling in, trying to hunt it down. Food sources not looking great as he has to extend north side without protection onto the deer. What's Elyono's game strat now? I mean, he's starting to prep Janissaries, but I believe that's just probably going to have to end up being military school ones. Like, Janis, they're pretty expensive on the gold. He has got a decent amount of it. So I guess he could afford it, especially with the gold veins in reserve. Need more B. It's this walling system, man. I mean, it's because there's still just so many Sapahi. He has to wall like this. Yeah, Recon's finally joining us in Dad Joke Town. There's a lot of puns you can do with B's name as well. Like his Byzantines. We must feel like the Byzantines here against the Ottomans. Always under siege. More elephants though, oh god. So the idea is, as you start layering your base like this, you can just walk the elephants out to attack. He's on the clock, though. Elyono has got a lot of Janissary coming. And B is aware of it. It's why he's prepping archers. Make a pun with Elyono? Well, I will say this about that timing on the stables. It was not an Elyono, for sure. Had you on the edge of your seat. I'm just concerned now that he won't be able to see beyond the Elyono of this series. Is Elyono able to become the El Sensei? Teach B how it's done. It's okay, Recon. Take notes. We'll get you there, bud. Yeah, another good one. Is it Elyono or Wyono? Oh wait. Is this about to happen? Is this he's walling him in. He's walling him in. Run. Okay, guys, he has 4 war elephants. He could actually kill these all. That's 14 Sapahi. That's a quarter of his army. An important quarter of that. And he's running straight to a corner. Mahoots also gives the movement speed. He can't burn through quick enough. Oh my god, this is the slowest surround you're ever going to see. B. He's moving though. The 4 elephants. The speeds as well. He has to turn around into the enemy elephant. There's still 1 more elephant here. Where? I don't know. I don't know where he went. 1, 2, 3. We're missing 1. Villagers. Gonna take a stab at it. He can't really get that many. This is such a slow death. Okay, he's done it. This is like, guys, here's the thing. When you're being chased by elephants, it's like playing zombies mode in Call of Duty. You just have to ferry them around, running around in circles until they all line up behind you. Oh my god. Out of time for villagers? Yeah, but you're on the clock now. This is 21 scholars, and he has got the opportunity to go village fortresses soon. Unbelievable. I mean, I'm impressed Elyono didn't lose more. He got a few worker kills out of it as well. Pretty much cut down though. So Raiders going to come to the end. He has got another wave of Sapahi at home. He's also prepping a big Jani wave, but... Is B thinking about him? It almost looks like B's more interested in Imperial Age than Elyona is. Got some Sacrifice getting locked in for the gold gen. Don't know what army comp's more broken late game, Elephants or Sipahi Jan? Sipahi Jan. But for Castle, Elephants is pretty bloody bad. Like, I would say Elephant Archer over Janissary Sipahi in Castle, but then it flips in Imperial. Because the Janissary is DPS, even Sipahi scaling pretty nice. Obviously, the Elephants have their own with the Armored, but I think it's much harder to consistently just scale the War Elephants to a point of impact, if that makes sense. They struggle the way that Gilded units do, in that, like, you have all this health when you're low HP, and then you die. It's like, it's almost more cumbersome, if that makes sense. Kind of like what we saw in Elyona's last game with the French Royal Bloodline Knights, where you go to the next fight, you still have the same military pop, but all your units are almost dead. Right? Like, that's the problem. Sometimes having big HP units is bad. And normally it's bad when you're at max population, because it means you're just delaying your next wave the entire time. And I can't believe it. I can't believe this game isn't just over. Like, I do believe if that stables went down, Elyona is probably just a matter of steps away from a victory. It really was that clutch. And cannons do counter elephants. They're just not that... I don't think they're that incredible. But obviously, great bombards are generically great, so... Oh, you want to do Tower Release against Sipahi Janus. Then you dive in quicker. Because Tower Elephants get countered by both parts of the comp. Whereas War Elephants only get countered by one part of the comp. Like, Tower Elephants is even worse than War Elephants against Sipahi Janissary. Especially now that Janissary do not take more damage from Tower Elephants, if I remember correctly. Because archers specifically have a light gunpowder infantry tag. Whereas it used to be Janissaries took 50% more damage from range units. Which is where Tower Elephants were a little bit better against it. Now less so. Oh my god. Well, I mean, you had the question. We're about to answer it, aren't we? 10 War Elephants. But this isn't Imperial Age. Could Elyona prove me wrong? He's building spears to try and make it possible. The problem is, you build spear, you build Janissary, like both of them are countered by archers, right? So like this is going to come down to the positioning of Sipahi 100%. The noises on this piece. And remember, he's got the scholars for the healing. It's very difficult to bring these War Elephants down. Janissary slightly out of position. Oh no, the way this fight is happening. Yeah, look at this split. He just chases the Janissary away. The War Elephants rotate around. The siege is now in trouble. He tries to charge forward, but a few War Elephants held in reserve on the west side. They're going to try to body block this out. Elephants in on the siege already. Janissary is diving in, just trying to kill one by one, but now they're exposed as well. And B is going to break the back of this army. The Mahoots. He's cutting away the injured. And the Janissary count is just not competing. 14 remain alive. Ottoman army melted. Elyona is going to be moaning about this one. 10 bloody War Elephants. And they are very bloody after that fight. But absolutely worth it. The Janissary count just not high enough now to outdo the healing. And these things aren't just beasts in a fight. They're siege beasts as well. It's ramming time. Forces a recommitment. Elyona. Can he get through these elephants? It feels difficult. It feels almost impossible. The scholars, they just need to be target healing here and it'll be good. He actually ferries round the back. He's once again corralling him. Sheepdog mode activated. And Janissary count now down to just 11. The Mahoots tech is actually making the difference here. You move at the same speed by default as Janissary. Every time they turn, you get closer. like a giant crocodile ready to snap his jaw shut. Do not climb into the mouth of the elephant. It is not safe. These things look more like hippos than elephants when used this way. It is ridiculous. It is done, and it looks over. You asked the question, Janissary Sipahi versus War Elephant with a sprinkling of archers, which would win? We forgot the scholars to make this oh so simple of a yes sir, please sir, 3 bags full of ivory, sir. That ivory is still attached to the elephant. So 3 games it took, but in the end, B will be 2-1 victorious to head through to the quarterfinals. But props to Alyona, man. He definitely made him worry a bit in this series. But in the end, the elephant, the clutch elephant, was able to breed an army to victory. Yo. Dude. That clutch stables was disgusting, man. I cannot believe that. One second difference decides his fate. Elephants are uncounterable. Uh-oh. Honestly, it would have been better with crossbow instead of Janissaries. Yeah, but like the mathematical and cost, you're like not wrong, right? It's 120 versus 180. But I think because he got 4 relics, he probably felt like the gold was better used there because Janissaries are gold heavy. So I think those type of games where you have a lot of gold access and you have a lot of relics, you feel better about using the gold versus the food. Because like, if you think about the difference, it's 80 food for either, but like then the extra gold just goes into Janissary. And in theory, Janissary are like more broadly applicable, you'd think? I don't know, it's tricky. Like I'd say like you aren't wrong in that crossbows will have less DPS exchange against elephants, but you start step them anyway, so you snipe, move. Whereas Janissary will die quicker than crossbowmen due to the bonus from archers. So it is a fair point. But like I think the flip side is like if you go crossbows, does B not then just try to go for Imperial? Because like if you then have to go into Imperial, you'd rather have, if you then turn it into an Imp on Imp game, you would much rather have Janissary than crossbowmen. Right? So that's the interesting thought there. Okay guys, so do we watch Gully versus Recon? Or I guess I'll spoil that. B versus Lash. I don't think we'll have time for Voldemar Sword Off. Voldemar Scatterbrain, brother. Do we do Gully Recon? See if we have time for that. Yeah, let's do a Trash Bander. By the way, reminder, guys, PCS are back with us. PC Specialist has returned to sponsor us. So if you are on the lookout for a PC, laptop, whatever, go ahead and support them. I swear by this bad boy. And they will be with us, I'm proud to say, through to the end of the year. Dude, it's so nice to say that we've got some long-term sponsors coming in. Yeah, I talked with the guys at PC Specialist. They loved the way you guys engaged with them. And they also loved what we've done with them. So they came back, not just for 1 month. They've come back through to the end of the year, and then we'll review to see how 2026 looks. We need Voldemar Scatterbrained. The problem is they're not ready for like another half an hour. And Emma, you can blame Emma. She's going to like dodge out in like an hour-ish. So like, I'm not even sure if we've got time for the full Recon Gully, but we'll see how we do. Okay, so let me update everything. Okay, so game 1, of course, will be on Carmel. I think I'm turfing Carmel out for next week. I'm just not that impressed by it. Yeah, like, I want to do Voldemort Scatterbrain, but it's literally Emma's fault. Because apparently, I mean, this is the interesting thing. Emma likes being able to buy things, but apparently, playing a casual game of netball that does not make us any money is more important than making us money. It's crazy. It's crazy. I know. And she can't even be like, well, this is for me, right? Like, I need this because it's like, you know, it's the only thing I get to do each week. You just had a holiday for a whole week, Emma. Bull crap. All right. What the hell? Oh, that's not the recon I'm looking for. I just saw Turtle Ridge spammed. I was like, huh? I was like, oh, different recon. I was so confused when I saw about 10 games of Turtle Ridge. I was like, no, he's regressed. Not like this. All right, so we'll see what we can get through here. Because I don't know if we'll have time for the full, which is quite annoying. But we'll do our best. By the way, Gully has his English. This fiend is obsessed. Kilyadi a finalist already? Nah, dude. Kilyadi hasn't been signing up, I don't think. No. Sag. Miss our boy. Alright. Welcome back to the channel, folks, for what should be the wackiest series of the week. And that is tall talk, considering that Anatan and B are in this week as well. But these two have been wacky. Recon bringing his own design and machinations back with his return to AoE 4. And Gully Deckle, after I witnessed just before going on holiday his English play, this man is crazy as well. Like, this might be a set of insanity. It begins here on Carmel. Game number 1. Byzantines versus Rus. A fairly standard matchup. I think we've seen a decent amount of Biz. There's other maps where you might see them as a little bit more desirable. But Rus definitely coming out here a lot on Carmel. There's just way too much deer on the map. You know, it's like 60, was it 68 deer in total? It's ridiculous. There's over 10,000 food worth of deer you can get here.
Now you're mine.
So makes sense that normally you're thinking Pro Scout civs, but wait, is that my boy Lexi? Yo, what is up, Lexiev? Thank you very much. Shout out Lexiev. Number 1 English streamer for Heroes of Might and Magic 3, the game of my childhood. Welcome one and all to Age of Empires 4. Age of Empires you might recall from your childhood. We're here in our midweek muster, my friends. I just got back from holiday, a week off with the family in Greece. And we're back into our $20,000 esports circuit that we run every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, featuring some of the best players in Age of Empires 4. These two are wacky, man. This guy just came back from Age of Mythology and brought some crazy strategies with him. And Gully Deckle is a kiddo. Yeah, believe it or not, RTSs that are meant to be a boomer game, and Gully is, I think he's 16 now. Maybe 17. This is actually the nice, refreshing thing. I think, like, probably AoE 4 has the most youngins coming through of the RTSs, right? Like, StarCraft had a few, like, Oliveira type stories, right? And AoE 2 has Heart. But, like, if you think of the players that you could theoretically envision breaking through in AoE 4, we have some, like, youngins in there, which is pretty cool. Louis MT, who's been, like, a podium-level player from China, is 23, I believe it was. You got MSN that I think was 16 or 17. And then you also have, I think Ezra might be 15. Ezra's got a bit more way to go compared to some of these, but Gully's doing well, man. Like, we're here in the quarterfinals after all. He did get a default win over Louis MT, but this would be quite the statement play. I mean, Recon, I think he's taken back to AoE 4 like a duck to water, right? Like, I think Recon's return to top play should, at least in theory, be quicker than Sword Off's. Because Sword Off had to transition from StarCraft to Age of Empires 4 again. Whereas Recon transitioned from Age of Myth to AoE 4. They're both very different games, but I feel like this one's, the Myth compared to 4, is a bit more comparative, a bit more relatable. Okay, So recon should be pro scouts. I'd be surprised if it isn't. Like, it feels way too good to resist pro scouts considering all the safe food you get back. Like a raccoon to trash? No, I'd say recon is more. It took more like taking back to AW4 is more like a trash panda to a used sandwich that's been rotting and in your bin already for 2 weeks. It's a bit different. You don't get in the trash for the trash. You get in the trash for the food that's in the trash. And why is my whole family now out here?
We are your family.
I know you're my family. What do you want?
Hey, you got more family.
I've got more family, have I?
Yeah, you do.
Oh, have I got this one who's now one? There you go.
Baby's your family. Mommy's your family.
Oh my god, why are you giving them all to me? You're not leaving yet.
Bye. Where would you?
You'll see me shortly. Because mummy's going netball and I'm stuck with you.
Mom, why are you going to that?
Alright, Freya, say subscribe to Killer Pigeon.
No.
What do you mean no?
Yeah.
You want sweeties? I need subs then. Say please subscribe.
Please subscribe, Daddy.
Here we go.
Subscribe it.
Say thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Mom, wait for me.
I should clip that and use that advertised everywhere. Okay, wait, dude. Like, we got so distracted by the kiddos. Look what Gully done. He done the Loose Grand Winery. For all of our new to the channel people from Heroes of Might and Magic, like, this is not what you usually do with level 2 landmarks. You build landmarks every age up, right? Normally, they just get built in your base, not like this. Because this is now very risky. You have to keep workers out here exposed against a Civ that has access to heavy knights in Age 2. And Recon is already targeting Punish Point here. It's crazy. These can't touch ball? They can. Ottomans cannot touch ball. It's the Muslim Civs that cannot eat piggy, right? So that would be Ottomans, Abbasids, Delhi, and Ibids. Oh, and Mali. And remember, that's pretty painful because boar is like the best gathering rate in the game, or one of them for sure. What's up, Yogurts? Thank you very much, mate. Love all the people tuning in across TikTok, YouTube, Twitch. It's pretty chill. And I'm curious to see if this is going to work out, though. He's got Limitane already coming. I think for Gully, probably the best bet here is build a few outposts. Because if you're relying on longbows to be your defensive strategy, longbows is not quick to scale like this. Like, you walked all the way out here to build the Grand Winery, so your tech timing was technically worse. And your scale point is kind of slow with longbow. And you're against a Civ that can scale Archer Knights pretty quickly because of the passive gold that Roost gets off of gathering in general and these hunting cabins. But also the wood gen. They get 20% more wood because of having this building nearby. So this is... I think relying just on longbows is a mistake. And there you go. Gully reads it. Wait, what? I'm sorry. This is crazy. Like, and what's up, Super Fim? Thank you very much for the sub, mate. Appreciate you. So we just got a bunch of people coming across to watch Age of Empires 4 probably for the first time. And this game is like, you know, I knew it wasn't going to be a standard game, but it's like you kind of want a standard game to explain the normalities of AoE4 to someone. Whereas these two are doing wacky things. So remember, Byzantines have these mercenary options. They can take units from other civs. He built the Merc House next to the neutral post, which gave him additional mercenaries. It also means he produces them even quicker. And Desert Raiders is intriguing here. I'm not entirely convinced they're going to be able to hold their own against the archers. But I think the idea for Gully is that the outposts keep the archers away and the Desert Raiders, Limitane, deal with the knights diving. It's a cool idea. I don't know if he's got the scale for it, though. What a wacky strat. Yeah, you get free a batch, but the price of them is pretty high. 495 olive oil. You got the know-in? Why you got the know-in? Share it on the Discord. Can't believe she'd done that to me. Yeah, you notice the moment I was like, yeah, but Frey, don't you want food? She's like, oh, yeah. Subscribe. Seen a lot of market strats. Yeah, you don't see Desert Raiders very often either. It's pretty cool in theory against knights. But yeah, I think you're seeing the issue of Gully strat is like, yes, he's got a lot of olive oil here, but now he's spread wide. So the towers is really cool, but he needs towers everywhere. Because Recon, he isn't just headbutting the dum-dum location, right? Yes, you want to deny the Grand Winery, but that means you're going into emplacements. If you spread wide, however, Gully doesn't have towers everywhere. He's unguarded. What a cool strat. Desert Race, exactly the fight they can't afford. Everything about Gully's comp right now is designed to defend a dive. There's not much to defend a raid, right? Like, you know, because archers, they don't need to dive in to get these kills. You can force the Desert Raiders out of position with these tree lines. It's a smart read by Recon. Turns out Trash Panda has proven that actually trash is highly nutritious and great brain food. I mean, they just say eat your greens, and I guess if the chicken's green, eat your greens. Is Recon thinking about aging? He's holding reserve resources. I mean, your opponent has so much more time left on the berries for value. Not to mention that he'll just switch deer afterwards, and like that's when you can start thinking about like a potential tech play. Because remember, these systems do so much for Byzantines. They give a better gathering rate on all your villages. They can increase your production rate of your units, your research rate of your techs. And the importance of that is that if he now goes for Castle Age, he'll get the landmark that allows him to produce mercenaries for free. But he'll produce them very fast because of the production rate increase. So I think Recon, if he wants to make a choice to tech, it needs to be fast or it needs to be a reinvest. And it looks like it's going to be a fast choice in tech. And yes, Recon has been pro scouting. He wasn't greedy about it though, which I appreciate. He only got 4 scouts because he had map control. Normally, if you're playing Roost, the only reason you should really be spamming out like, you know, 10 scouts is because you don't have map control for long. So the idea is you build so many scouts before your opponent has map control to get it home before he can block you everywhere. But if you're playing aggro, like this is a much, much better approach of just having 3-4 scouts. It's the exact same way that French play, because French knights are so dominant and they tend to bully the map. They don't need to panic rush resources. It's much more lean and efficient to just get in what you need. Because if you know you're going to have map control for X minutes, why are you rushing scouts? You're spending more money on scouts, which means less money going to army or tech. Golly, just trying to be a nuisance. I don't know, man. This is looking a bit weird now. Like the idea was cool with the Desert Raiders. I just think Recon's reaction was correct. He didn't force it. And now, Gully, yeah, you're seeing him switching to Lombos, which is the correct call, because normally at this stage, you're talking about how you've got 20 Lombos going into Castle. That's not the case here. And Lombo scaling is critical to success with these type of Byzantine builds. The other worry is that now you probably won't have enough to contest relics out on the map. Get your numbers in, folks. High Trade House coming through. Let me know how much passive gold you think he's going to generate off this. Does it look beastly enough? Villagers in the corner for Gully. He's ready to tech. Unfortunately, Recon is already on the way. Choose poorly, and it may be your last choice. Can you delete the Merc House to ensure it's Lombos? I believe so. Yes, you should be able to. Because they're coming in because you have this option. I believe the way it works, like if you remove it, you can't produce it out of the Golden Horn Tower. As long as you have it, it can be produced out of any other Merc buildings. Golly, he did sneak in past the wood line. The wall actually didn't go up successfully. However, Arch is starting to reach in now. And the way he's wrapping around these tree lines. Golly, looks like it's going to be safe for an age up. Recon won't be able to find the dive point. I imagine he's considering the relic soon. 130 gold passively coming in from the High Trade House. No monastery just yet out of Recon, though. Wait, Fatblop got it right? Congratulations. Come up and claim your prize of subscribing to my channel. And oh no. Did that just... Out of all the units you could have had... I mean, there was 3 units, right? It's literally the worst one. Magadai, which are terrible against armored units and terrible against mass archers. And he gets Magadai. Oh my... This feels like the equivalent of being a diabetic. Asking someone to surprise you from the McDonald's menu and they decide to get you full sugar Fanta. Like, nice now wrapping around the back. Archers. A bit of a weird engagement from Recon, actually. What? I don't know what the hell that was. I don't think I want to know what that was. Recon, he's got more knights in reserve. But that felt like an atrocious first fight. Yeah, Gully maybe at his weakest point there. Doesn't look weak now. Longbow's about to be upgraded. That's 20 to play with. Recon just kind of tossed away control of the mid-map before he has relics home. That's relic being picked up. Knights will at least find a freebie there on the Cataphract. That's a good start. Longbows are not quick chasers, guys. No, they're old men with walking sticks. Oh, get back here. Recon, he has the right idea. His knights are already in position. The army can't rush his base quickly. So he goes hunting for more. Gully completely blind in the area. He's rushing an outpost up now. The deer seem to be the target. We were never here. Dodges it. He thought it was for the gold. Recon. Knights creeping into the base. And on the south side, he found it. He went north for the gold, and then he knew there was only one place he could be. Because remember, Gully, by aging up, gold is such a necessity in Castle Age for all these upgrades and the Cataphracts. Great read, and Recon now able to realize a true worker advantage. Knights even clashing from the north side into this. Meanwhile, Gully, like, just holding his junk on the edge of the map, doing nothing. Like, he's not able to dive that base with Longbows. He's got no armored units to go in. Instead, his worker count is going down. What a hit. And it's still running. Gully, half his economy just not working. Even with Akratoy. With the extra armor, they're not lasting seconds here. This is over. Yeah, Gully, I mean, the worst thing you do right now is come home. He runs all the way back home. Recon can now think about relics again in the game where he already has 3 relics giving him passive gold income. His knights are swarming the Cataphract. Nothing is going right here for Gully. Yeah, I mean, this is why cavalry dominates on Carmel. It's kind of weird, actually. If you think about the way it's played out, Recon lost his archers, and then the game looked better for him. Does that sound weird? It's because it is. On Carmel, it's a map about rotation. It's very hard to defend. It's very easy to be exposed. It's why Pro Scout civs have been dominant here, because they pull all the risk back to one screen. Byzantines don't have that option. They have to play wide. He played wide from the very start of the game. Now the game looks abysmal for him. Recon, 20 plus knights. No boys fortitude. You easily make them more tanky. 5 relic game. I just don't see what Gully's meant to do here. Like, the one play he has is trying to go to TC, but, you know, he has no farms. His Grand Winery's out in the middle of nowhere. He's blocked out of food sources. Like, 2 TC feels way too greedy on a map like this from this position. So instead, it's just going to be more hemorrhaged. Game. Being borderline over. The only thing that Recon really needs to do now is just get the troops up the field. But he won't be in a rush, right? He just needs to hunker down first. Because, like, when you're in this type of position, you play usually more defensive because the expectation is your opponent's going to have to do something gambly to get back into the game. Magadai rolls are just so bad. Yeah, you just don't do damage. You do 2 damage per hit against knights. So, you know, guys, that's great. It only takes you 115 hits to kill. Wahoo. Oh, well. Don't worry, it's going to take you even more now. It's going to take you 128 hits to kill. It's got Boy's Fortitude coming in for the extra health. And Recon, good lad, he understands. There's a Hail Mary coming. So you just want to pull your whole army back and be ready for it. And I love the fact he's gathering stone now. So 2 options here. Let's say you take a hit, you need to build a second TC, you can now do it. Let's say you don't really lose villages, you play for a castle drop on the central gold. And that's the GG point. This map, 9 times out of 10, is decided by this gold. Golly's stepping up. I mean, a bit split, though. Maybe now overextended. The Lombos, they're not quick to retreat, and there's going to be a jump in. Recon with the Night Charge, able to close the distance and shut down the bows. Golly now trapped. No way to run here. He doesn't have the stone to go for Mangonel placements. There's going to be no defensive structure assistance that really matters. And the Knights already splattering that Lombo count down into nothing. Which means he'll have nothing left to cover the spears. Trickle of Troopers into death at this stage. There's just no way back. Gully down by 20 workers. Soon to be a lot more. And GG comes in. A wacky game number 1 for sure. Recon, solid performance of the Knights, carrying him through. But that Grand Winery gambit was definitely something else. Great read overall coming out of Recon, though, to realize what the Desert Raiders meant and not fall for the bait. Cool idea, though. You kind of want to see it work just for the, like, the funkiness of the Desert Raider play. The stakes? Oh, you mean, yeah, the palings just take too long to deploy. So the problem with the palings, which is meant to stun horses and damage them, is, like, it takes way too long to set them up. And if the thing with longbows is when you set them up, you're not attacking. So any time spent building is time spent not attacking. So, like, you're losing, to gain that resource in a fight, you're losing DPS. You're losing DPS to theoretically gain DPS, but the problem is, any good player will see you building the palings and either kill you before you complete them, or just before you complete them with the lombos, he'll move away. At which point, the palings are worthless, and you've spent the whole time building them instead of attacking you with lombos. That's why no one does palings. It's just a really, really, really bad ability. All right, game 2 is going to be Cliffside. And we are going to be seeing English. This is the most disgusting English player on the ladder right now. It's not even the guy who spams 50 plus games. Actually, I think he might be now. But the way that Gully Deckle plays this Civ is vile. I have been away for over a week, and I have a feeling that nothing about it has changed. Welcome back to the channel, folks. We are here for game number 2 of this quarterfinals matchup between Recon and the boy with the kid and the boy with the kid, I guess you could call them. Recon with Jeanne d'Arc up against Gully's English. And kind of a rough matchup, actually, for Jeanne, right? Like, the issue is normally that she just kind of gets sniped out as the game scales in. But in theory, like, English, maybe a bit linear with longbow spears here. I wonder, though, is he going to do the dirty build? Because the dirty build we're talking about with Gully here, folks, is Men-at-Arms. Gully, we had a game just before I left for Greece for the week where he made me want to puke. Start to end of the game, and I mean truly start. Dark Age through to the end of the game. All he'd done was built Men-at-Arms. We're going to have to see someone different here, though, because he's playing against a French Civ. French Civs do not allow men-at-arms spam. You can't. But Gully, at the moment, is a vile beast. We have Abbey of Kings coming in, and I'm going to show you guys something. And the important part is that you don't vomit too hard, because you see, the problem when you vomit too hard is you get all these bits and chunks of whatever you ate between the keyboard keys, and it's very hard to get out. You ready? All right, hold your stomach. Yeah. Yeah, no, hold it back. Don't bring up the chunks. Hold it back. Look at this. He's just spamming non-stop English in a meta, but they're actually not very popular. And I don't know if this is a 2TC build. No, because you probably would have moved over to Stone. Instead, it's going to be Rax opening. It could still be 2TC on a delay, because you have to secure against the first Knights. Recon on the other side of this. Is he going to be rushing Pro Scouts? Doesn't look like it. He doesn't even have Wheelbarrow. Yeah, a little bit different. Normally, we've been seeing Wheelbarrowing to Pro Scouts non-stop with French/Yon. I think the reason Recon didn't do it, though, is he thought it was 2TC. So this is quite the bait out of Gully, because about 9 out of 10 games, probably 95% of games where you go Abbey of Kings landmark with English, you see 2TC play. So quite the funny curveball here, because it just means that Recon misses out on his efficiency. How much I'm hyping Gully English, you're expecting Pro Scout Abbey of the train level of wackiness? I wouldn't put it past him, except for the fact you can't build that with that Civ. But I wouldn't be surprised to just see melee blob here. Like full, I'm talking never-ending melee blob. You have to realize that we watched a game between Gully and Swordov that was, I think, 30 minutes long. Across the course of the game, he must have built, I want to say 140 men-at-arms at least. From start to finish. Like, age 1, he built 5 men-at-arms. Which is pretty nuts by even Dark Age men-at-arms spam. And it never stopped. I'm starting to think, until he sees an archer, this might just be a spearman-only game. Oh, that is interesting. So Japan is third most picked in rank now. Yeah, but English-French remaining popular is no surprise. Like, for low-ranking players, it has always been the 2 most popular picks in the game. So Archer Switch coming in. I'm just going to 2x this a little bit longer. Knights are going to take a stab at it. Great draw on the worker there. But it's 1-1 so far. I mean, Gully done a great job of finding a worker kill so early on with English. The King paying off already. I don't feel like we often see Abbey of Kings played like this way against French. Like, most players will just take the 2TC and then just get hit on the chin repetitively and either, win the game eventually or lose it. Right? Usually the key is, can I get the white tower line? And if the answer is yes, then my game looks good. If not, I'm screwed. This is kind of different. Horseman switch up now. It's full melee. Oh, this is so dirty. What's up, Jay? You're England till you die. Well, the thing about being England till you die is if you play at pro level, you die a lot. Yeah, this is not a Civ that has been winning much. I think the exception is when there's water maps. Like, water maps is where English have been looking pretty good because of the Admiralty, which gives them the extra range on the boats. Well, land maps, they've pretty much been relegated to just doing 2TC into fast castle, fast imp all the time. This boy's been being a bit wacky, a bit different. And the horsemen have been revealed. So Recon now knows. He did go pro scouts, so he's got his own food source coming home. Meta for English is 100% horseman Abbey now. You reckon? I mean, there's other ways to get value, but it's very awkward, right? But the other way you get value is by scaling deep into 2TC. But the problem, here's the thing, even if 2TC was to still be effective, it has to not just be effective, it has to be overwhelmingly effective. Because there is 2 approaches to linear civs. The strategy is so broken it just always works. The strategy is so predictable it never works. That makes sense, right? We've had some wacky English games before where the strategy works because your opponent assumes you're just going to do 2TC. So, the counter to, when English 2TC was good, the counter play was prepping to counter it. But if you prepare to counter something you're dead wrong, it puts you behind. Like, technically, Recon got put behind in this opening because he delayed his wheelbarrow pro scout timing to get the knights out quicker, only to arrive and realize it wasn't 2TC at all. So he put himself behind very early on with that. I think this is cool what Gully's doing, though. I don't know if he could have done this against French. I think French would have been different. Because French would have been building a worker lead off of this, but Jean doesn't. It's a really important difference. The other awkward part is because he went Horseman and kept the spears at home, Jean hasn't really got any XP. No, this has been one of the most underwhelming Jean XP games in a while, actually. She's just been standing at home, staring. And to make matters worse, folks, he chose Melee Jean. Melee Jean is a pretty horrible choice in this type of position. It does nothing for you. You know, if this was going to be a fast castle game, you would have preferred range Jean. I think he just couldn't. It's too risky with the horseman arriving, right? Like, even the king. And King's Palace, folks. I gotta say, I'm pretty impressed. Gully, I think he's played this very well. He's got 2 farm clusters, basically. And reminder, these farms got buffed. I think this almost inconsequentially small detail got slept on. The farms got buffed by 5% gathering in the early ages. They now cap out at their full 30% in castle. That's a pretty big detail, though. Considering you always want to spam them anyway, getting an extra 5% is a buff. It's just 4 farms up, no farms down. And what's up, Amiri? Thank you very much, mate. Appreciate the sub. Welcome back to Swarm. Reminder, guys, get those subs in. It does support the channel. We're back. I've got the Friday off, but outside that, we'll be live every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday of the month. Non-stop action coming your way. And Twitch did just add in a rewind function, believe it or not, for live that you can have if you're subscribed to a channel. It's a pretty good deal. So Gully with the age up, Knights coming out. Yeah, this is where having melee Jean is just depressing. All it takes is 2 or 3 Knights to get those kills. I don't know, man. Recon's just not getting value out of hanging around. He knows it. He's going for castle. But that means you're now just behind. Monastery drops pretty early from Gully. I'm a bit surprised by that, but in fairness, if he thinks Recon's going to be teching, it means that Recon's probably going to struggle to block all relics. So, you know, Gully's just stepping up to the slot machine and seeing what he can get. Like, maybe you hit and you get a relic, or you miss. You know, the trade-off is 150 gold to maybe get 80 gold a minute infinitely. Not a bad deal. And I like that deal right there. What is up, Zeltwanger? Thank you very much, mate. Welcome back to Swarm. And I believe a sub-train has just started. 4th most picked on ladder 1v1 is KT. That is intriguing. I'm a bit surprised by that. I thought a lot of people wouldn't like Knights Templar casually because it feels so different because of the way you tech. Because you compromise villager production to do so. But no, actually that makes sense. At low ranks, I think low ranks wouldn't care because low ranks don't build that many villagers anyway. So teching through via your primary landmark and like not having to worry about building up something and then not needing as many villagers would make a lot of sense for sure. And then at higher levels, yeah, it'd be water maps. Okay, so Guildhall now coming through. Gully has already got a lot of knights, though. He's about to have more ponies than Jean. Worrisome position, especially when you consider defensively, these knights will beat French knights with the buffed attack speed. 20% quicker attack speed is a pretty big deal in prolonged engagements. And to make matters worse, you just have better chivalry at home. The Abbey of Kings gives better healing than the chivalry will. Chivalry that's now coming in. Bit of a dicey fight, because the moment that charge runs out, Gully should look to turn and poke. He's worried about being surrounded, though, so just keep on running. Still, this is good for him, right? Like, he's dragging attention elsewhere, which is allowing him to pick up relics. Yeah, this is I think, the obnoxious thing about English when they play like this. When they have the 2TC set up with the King's Palace or earlier in the game, they know you're on the clock. So really, from this type of position, they don't need to win-win. They just need you to not be able to do anything. Knights. Oh, no. Recon. The army is not upgraded. And the archers are unguarded. Not just that, this is going to ripple into the workers soon. Jean isn't threatening either, by the way, guys. She'll die. She'll die to 3 knights, easily. And there's 4. She can't even get through. Village is now being targeted. Should be 2 kills. Oh, wow. They turn around. Yeah, so Recon throwing away a few there. And the whole army's coming home to deal with these 4 knights. Not just that. You sneaky son. Gully. He's just waiting in the tree line. I love this. A lot of people are guilty of the sin of select all army constantly. Especially when you get like new knights, you either select all army or you add them to a control group and go, go, go. This is really good from Gully though. It's just multiple groups of knights. He knows that Recon doesn't have spearmen. He shouldn't anyway by now. He doesn't have crossbowmen yet. He wants knights. And knights, you know, if you have enough of them, yeah, they can protect villages. But look at the count in this game. How often do you see English out-knighting French? In real life, a lot. We like to knight people a lot. You know, you're like, oh, you're in a TV show? We'll knight you. But in Age of Empires 4, French and Jean are meant to be kings and queens of this. Not the case here. An unhealthy looking economy now for Recon. 47 workers to 62. Love the housing situation. Gully just trying to find any little chip value he can. As he now preps for a longer haul game. He walls himself up at home. You've seen enough, you want to invest in Gully coin? I'm telling you, man. This boy, he's onto something here. I mean, did you guys notice the rank when we went on his AoE4 world account? Let's not forget that important detail. Gully's 28th in the world right now. And he has got over 2,000 elo. He's played 260 games. A lot of them being English. He's finding great success with this. And you can say this isn't against one of the best civs against Jean, whatever, right? But, like, I mean, yeah, it's against Jean. But I'd say Jean is, like, in a lot of people's power rankings, they would have put it higher than English, at least. Interesting switch on the Horseman, though. I like the Crossbowman. The Horseman, less so. I think in Gully's mind, he's expecting Crossbowman, which makes sense. But, like, Recon hasn't done that. The reason why Recon wouldn't have done that is he's spreading wide. You can't crossbowman when you do this. If you're playing out into the ball and the wider golds, if you go crossbowman, you just get outrated. Well, at least one relic's going to be stopped. I mean, he needed to do something about it. It was getting a bit silly. This one... you should win that fight. If it's just an A-click anyway. And Gully, oh my god, he's just going straight for it. Relic pick up. Warlord to scare him, right? Yep, goes for it. Recon. The body block, that was sick. There was no A-click overlap, so buys a little bit of time. Still, ugly exchange. And he's not going to get it far away. But we've got Horsemen now sneaking in. Yeah, they're creeping past. It's just awkward for Recon. Like, he's having to guard wide, but he's done a good job. He's got the relic home through the gates. The problem is he's kind of just spreading wider and wider before the walls are up. Like, there's a giant gap in the center of the map right now. Yeah, 18 minutes in with JD is not a good sign. Like, it's going to, at this rate, be 20 minutes JD level 2. At that point, you need a shot of JD just to tolerate it. And look at the farms. 29 farms, but he's going up to about 35, 36. Yep. That is quad, soon to be 5 farm clusters, which is the type of economy that gets you to Imperial Age. All he needs is gold for that, and he's already got 3 relics locked in. He's got 2.5k back here. This is more than enough. What worries me more is Recon is heavily reliant on spears. Not really your quick brute forcer here. You can see Gully, he's just steering into spears now. Because with Recon, even just arbitrary here, like, you know, the attack speed matters a lot. Sure, Gambeson's is nice, but most of your comp can just lose to attack speed spears. And the cool thing about just doing this is all you really need is farms. Classic English, right? Men-at-arms or spearmen, either way, they're happy. And yes, Recon is already starting to kind of run a bit dry on food, especially with the walls in on the remaining deer. Like, he's out of Pro Scout deer here. He's playing onto berries and boar. He isn't even trying to return what little remains. I mean, he has got the guild hall, but that's not reliable long term. That's a pull for attack. And at this rate, at this pacing, by the time he'd be ready to go Imperial Age, so would Gully. All right, we're going to speed up a little bit between fights because I know Emma has to go to netball soon. And this is starting to feel like a sluggish English game. You know the type. The kind that can drag long, so we just need to be aware of that. Lombo's scaling up, though, so he's going full range mass instead. Oh, no, dude. That's so cool. Recon, he's going Jean's champions. Guys, these get bonus against spears. They're really tanky. If Gully wasn't going crossbows, this is a really good play. This is the thing. If they were on equal economy, I actually think that the champions is probably good enough here. But it's such a ridiculous lead. 30 workers up. And JD's champions are 200 resource by default. But remember, you can discount that. And that's when they become cost efficient. He's done that. Consecration, these now only cost 160, which is decent. Flash coming in. Gully. He's switching into men-at-arms next. With Arbitrary, I wouldn't advise that, though. Start step retreat. Has got the attack speed now activated. The aura should allow him to contest. And wait, Jean, where's she at? Is she at the back? Yeah, she's fighting up against the horseman. So XP there. But the big mosh pit, nothing for her. Spearman just charging in. Gambuson's tech isn't there, by the way. So Recon doesn't have the melee armor, which means Spearmen are actually contesting the crossbows. Nice time for him to defend the champions. Gully's still holding reserves. You can see what he really wants out of this. What every filthy English farmer always wants out of this. Imperial Age. He's just trying to stroke his chin and figure out how he's going to get there. Knights are at least being mirrored out. The good news for Recon, actually, is he has still got his Knights alive. So game definitely not over. Like, the Knights are key here. He's just sacking champions, which is at least more cost efficient. But I'm worried about his farm transition. He's began it. He's just got so far to go before this feels safe. Meanwhile, Gully, at this rate, he's going to be Imperial Age in the next 2 minutes. Look at the pop cap. He's bursting. Yeah, it's becoming hard to believe in the Trash Panda, isn't it? I really want the champions to work, man. But I think the problem is, quite often when we see them, it's almost like someone's just already lost and they're gambling. I don't feel like I've seen one champion game this year where someone's strategy was, yes, we're going to do this. Right? We see a lot of Jean's riders from Dimmu, but often it feels like a mixed bag. In this clash, and the champions against Spears should be good. The Lombos, they're target firing down the Arbitrary. Crossbowmen can pretty much A-click this. Whether it's Knights or Champions, it's perfect for them. And that attack speed booster is mattering a lot here. 20% increase. It's just melting through everything. Recon didn't stand a chance stepping up against this. He answers the spears, but it costs him everything else. Buyback on Jean. She ain't going to last long against that, though. Jean de Cleave is Jean de Sleep. This Trash Panda is about to be sleeping with the fishies. I don't think we need Imperial Age. There's a Guildhall pull waiting. Recon never took it. He doesn't have the Red Palace coming up. Gosh, golly, look at what happened today. Is that an English win, mama? I never expected that. Recon has got one Gambit to try and get out, but it's not going to be cheap. Buyback already used. Still needs half the XP for level 4 Jean. He just built these farms out. They're already inaccessible. He has pulled the food, but now lacks the gold. He's got a sneak out here. But Gully sees it. Oh, no. Outpost going up. He's steering. Gully, he's building more champions. I don't think he's going to get the gold. And he already pulled the Guildhall basically for nothing. I say that. He's building units, right? But, like, this was meant to be Imperial Age. Instead, it's going to reek of death. More workers now being pulled. Outposts will at least go up, but the idle time, the harassment, it will not stop. Golly, it is time. Imperial is upon us. Dun, 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 dun. God, it's rare to see this. I mean, we see all the time watching House of Lancaster, but English. Into the Wingard. Into the wind. He's got win in the name for a reason, right? Recon just... Okay, I'm starting to think people build champions in these positions so that they can just blame them when they lose. It's what it feels like. It feels so bad for Jean's champions. Come on, dog. They ain't that bad. They just kind of taste of sadness in these type of positions. He's at least getting rid of the aura. That's important. If Recon's army was more competitive, I think he would have invested in a trebuchet to clear the outposts. Because that's what's making this so hard. On the upside is because your opponent went King's Palace Wingard, he doesn't have any way of upgrading the outpost attack speed. Pretty small upside, though. There's a keep drop now. Just for a 4K. Yeah, so while you're building castles, you now have... You're destitute. You've got no food for a tech up. Gully has all the upgrades coming in. Right? He's got enclosures on the way, type barns, and after that, it should easily be a play into like longbows, crossbow upgrades. I think... Wait, is he just moving to a new gold? Yeah, he just got there. Recon. He's pretty much just playing a game of Duck Duck Goose. Right? He's just kind of... Actually, no. It's a game of cat and mouse. I guess Dog and Trash Panda. Does Dog beat Trash Panda? We need someone... It's Honey Badger and Trash Panda. You do not want to mess with a Honey Badger. English looking like the Honey Badger right now. Oh my god, he's been stockpiling for the winter though. 5.5k food in reserve. Get this man some gold. Oh, this is just painful to watch. Don't worry, guys. We just need to tolerate this for 10 more minutes, and then we'll have the food for our landmark. And then we'll be safe, right? Right? I feel bad for him. Like, he builds a farm cluster, runs away because he gets harassed, has to build another one. Now he's just losing them. Guys like, okay, if we're going to do this and just ring a roses, let's kill the farms. You can set up some new farms and then we'll kill them again. And reminder, Recon does not benefit from building these castles. This is Jean, not French. He doesn't get a discount by doing this. French, they get a discount on the build cost, and they also get discounts on their buildings nearby. These castles are solely because Recon is screwed. Recon. Now, hold your horses. Or rather, let them loose in this situation. Horseman marching in. Spearman Blob needs to get big fast. We've got the champions in on the farms. This could idle a long time, but unfortunately for Recon, Gully has an absurd amount of food in reserve. They start to spread out. And these worker kills ASAP. Textiles isn't going to matter much here. Remember, champions hit damn hard. 18 damage per strike. Capable of getting those, what, 4 hit kills? 5 hit. Horseman flooding across as well. Gully losing a lot of workers, but he's just replacing them with army. Like, this is beneficial. This is the time for this to happen to him. He's got so much food in reserve. He's going to just put it to work, reproducing into an army instead. Meanwhile, it's happening again. Come on. This can't keep happening. The amount of workers that are just running around like this for Recon. Was it a tag it stands for? Was it Taiwanese something gamers? I mean, they need to get sponsored by a footwear company with the amount of running these workers are doing in this game. I think Recon might be about to be ran out of town. He's still an age behind. The army's been caught up with by the beefy men-at-arms, and the elite upgrade just kicked in. There's a new boss in town, champions, and it's definitely not you. Yeah, main army arrives. Recon now tucking tail to run. Workers on the front side getting harassed away. I mean, credit to Recon actually doing a good job here of running that food clock down, of competing from an age behind. But Gully's now at home. The farms will be reinvested in, and he has elite army tactics on the way. It's one thing to compete Castle against Imperial. This is the point that typically kills people's games. Once elite army tactics comes in, it feels like you're age 3 versus age 5. Recon, he has at least got back on the farms. Castle drops coming in. Guildhall, he pulled it again. It's just not building. If you can't get a Guildhall reserve up for a Red Palace, like, what's your out here? To make matters worse, stone walls now. Okay, we're watching English games very clearly. Like, oh my god, the men-at-arms are actually just trading out really nicely here. There's barely any champions left alive. Reminder, these cost a lot more than these. The tech difference matters a lot. This is pre-elite army tactics. And finally, Gully is using the wing guard. It took long enough, but he's getting the trebs ready for if the game goes later. Sadly, Jean not really finding his big fights. Dive into the base. Yeah, so you can see Recon's just trying to go for the trade. Because he can't take that direct fight. And the men-at-arms. Guys, this is just going to be a men-at-arms game now. Like, this is every English player when they reach this point. Oh, you might build French Knights? Well, let me know when that happens. In the meantime, Beef Eaters! Oh, God. There's something so wrong about English having over 4 times the crossbow count of French. Right? Like, that just sounds dirty and so wrong. Villagers on the front line gathering wood. Okay, that's a good cleave from Jean. But the army, like, how do you deal with this? These vet horsemen. I mean, it's the attack speed aura plus the elite tech that just allows them to stand their ground against them. They don't care. Jean now the Divine Restoration, but, like, for what? They're all dead. All right, this is over. So that is going to be an evening up. Gully able to strike back. I think Recon knows it now. He can't get the big keep drop. His landmarks are now being sniped. This is game. He has no answer to mass men-at-arms. And in about 2 minutes, he should have no landmarks left. English spamming filth. All you need to do, guys, is get 52 farms. And the world goes round and round as Royal Britannia is back on the menu. Good lord. What a dirty ass civ. English got him over 2,000 elo. All right. So, unfortunately, I was hoping we'd be able to have enough time to do the rest of those games, but Emma sucks. So, I guess I'll tell you guys the outcome, because I don't think they're being shown anywhere else. You guys want the outcome for that one? So Voldemar Scatterbrain is going on, but I don't have time for that. I'm going to have to end the stream now because Emma's going out to netball because she's a selfish person. But it was Beaver / B won that. We know that Anatan won his. I just haven't had time to update that. So tomorrow we've got Anatan versus B. And the other side of the bracket, it is going to be Recon versus either Voldemar or Scatterbrained, outcome of which we should know a little bit later today. So those will be your semifinals. Make sure you check out Reddit and also make sure you join my Discord because I will ping there the start time tomorrow. I reckon we'll look to go live at like probably 1 p.m.-ish UK time, if not earlier. and then we should have back-to-back semis into grand finals. That semis of B and Atan is going to feel like a grand finals itself often is. Curious to see if Recon, Voldemort, Scatterbrain can contest them through into the finals, though. But guys, I'm going to get ready to end the stream. I need to go look after my kids, because Emma sure as hell isn't. Nah, but that's going to be it, guys. So I'm going to end the stream now. Thank you for watching. Make sure you join us tomorrow as Finals Thursday is back, and you will not want to miss what I'm sure is going to be a pretty few bangers. All right. Everywhere else, I'm going to end the stream now.